Yes. Is that lighting right? Oh, we didn't turn on the guy. We didn't turn on the guy. We need to flash. Flash. There we go. Otherwise, how do we know if it's working? We don't. All right. Let's check the rest of the shenanigans. Camera 2? What? Camera 3? What? Camera 2, camera 1. Oh, it's too early for a welcome back, everybody. We can't hit a welcome back, everybody, yet. I mean, we'll get there, I'm sure. Still grease. Still grease. So, how's it going, everybody? I feel like we've barely been here in September. Like I keep going places, and I'm over going places. So hopefully I won't have to go any places. Yeah, well, okay. I came out here, and look at that. Watch, if we go back to 1, look at this. I came out here and I got this thing set up because of last week. I was getting, not last week, week before, I was getting way too cavalier, and I would come out here about 5 minutes before I was supposed to start the stream, and then imagine that, nothing would work. So if I come out here early and get things set up, I come out about 10 minutes. No, this is the same. This mat's been here for a while. See, there's my cue mark. I'm supposed to have that right there like that. That's my cue mark. I bought this one off of Amazon. Okay, now there was a smaller mat like a month and a half ago, but it had a bunch of burn marks on it. So this one was like $11 on Amazon, so we want that one. So, oh yeah, I was watching the chat scroll by early on. Yes, to the folks down there in the southeast, dang. That's why we live over here. That's why we take the heat and the dry of the desert and the potential impending threats of either wildfires or earthquakes, because ain't no hurricanes here, man. We ain't got no hurricanes at all. So that thing came on, like, I feel like, I mean, you know, I don't like watching news, but I feel like my news thing came up in the morning and it was like, Hurricane Helene is coming. And then the next thing you know, Hurricane Helene was just beating up on everybody. We're going to have some drop frames for about the first probably 2 hours or so. The wife works from home on Fridays, so we're dueling over internet. Like I watched, there's little green bars, which on my screen are right about here. And it goes rip, 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 like the speed is going like this. So we will deal with it. A real professional YouTube studio. Well, I dug out what is now camera 2. I dug that out when camera 1 wouldn't work. Oh, I know I mentioned it on the Discord, and I might have put, I know I mentioned it somewhere. I clicked stop stream and immediately knew why this camera didn't work. It was because I had moved a bunch of plugs around, and when you unplug something, the computer goes, I've never seen this man before in my life. So I just deleted all of the, what do they call them? Sources. I deleted all the sources from OBS, plugged in new sources, and we've got 1, 2, and 3. Just like that. Tell the wife you need all the internet to do the live stream. This is more important and fun than job. That's true, but she makes an amount of money above what I make in YouTube. Like there'd have to be exponents on it to determine how much more money she makes. Thank you for the MB18 Mias kit. I like it, and I'll build it this winter with my grandson. Awesome. I remembered to ship those like last right before I was leaving for Proline. I shipped those out. That's all I'm planning on doing today. Is I had mentioned it before, and today seems as good of a day as any to do the thing. So rather than build something else, because I got builds. We got builds on builds. Oh, helps if you take the pin out. So we are going to we're gonna just spread those out. We got content. I stop these. Hear how much dirt's inside there? I was making a big mess with this guy. So he needs the whole thing. How many people recognized you at Proline by the Fire? Like, I would say like 3. And one of them, the guy that I was cruising around with, gave me away. I was trying to make it up this little rock slope, and the guy went, "Come on, Argenum, you can do it." And the guy's head just spun around. So that was that. Anybody recognize me? Let me tell you about the lack of recognition. I was wearing sunglasses. I have to wear prescription sunglasses so I can see. It was very bright out there. And I had one of those. I bought one of those giant, I call them lifeguard hats. I don't know what the actual name of them is. The giant, like, straw hat. So I had my sunglasses and my giant straw hat on. And I walked up to Zoku, who has seen me a number of times in the past. And he was standing there. He was sitting there at his booth looking at me with no expression of recognition whatsoever. So the guy who knows me didn't recognize me. Oh yeah, we kept making jokes where they were like, "You should go over to the Red Cat booth and tell them what you think." And I was like, "Well, I can do that because you take the finger like this. You find your Adam's apple right here. There's like the bottom edge of the Adam's apple, and you just push up. You just push up on it, and now you sound like this. And then you can say what you want about anything, and nobody even knows who you are. Like, I'm not artificially altering my voice. I'm just pushing my Adam's apple up higher. And then you sound like you want to buy, I don't know, pencils or stationery." So I could have done that. No one's seen you. How would anyone recognize you? One of the other guys that recognized me said that, as someone just said, you have a unique voice and style. He said cadence. He said that, like, the way I was talking, I have a cadence of delivery, and I can't argue that. What? Oh, dang. All right, hold on. I got to get on the bench. I was gonna say, I wish I had some of those, like, silicone trays to put nuts and bolts in, and then I remembered I do have those silicone trays to put nuts and bolts in. Was it difficult not commenting on yourself while driving? I am two extremes. That is where I exist. I'm either doing this, where I'm rambling at great length, or I don't talk at all. Yesterday morning, I was putting up 2 more strands of lights out on the course, and I don't think I said a single word for 4 hours. Nobody to talk to, so I just I just do my stuff. Okay, we're going all the way in. Yeah. Jimbo was out there for a day and said that he watched the Red Cat table for a good while, and not a single person went up to it. I believe it. Hey, Andre. Yeah, we are. Here's what happens when I take 2 weeks of September off. My goodness, the number of subscribers is as low as it's ever been, because we don't have those people giving out those gift subscriptions. I'm not saying that's why I'm here, but it doesn't hurt. Someone who met you called you Seth. Is that closer than Troy? I don't know. Whatever you call me, I'll probably respond. Oh yeah, on like so you've seen, like, somebody put it on like a is it a YouTube video, Instagram reel, something like that. I think I saw that as well. And yes, the temper with everything taken off does look like a jellyfish. Did you record any content? Absolutely not. Uh, what everything I recorded or shot in terms of video or whatever, I posted on Instagram because I genuinely, I kept telling people when I was there. I told my wife when I was leaving, I was like, I'm on. It's my day off. I knew I was going, so the week prior, I built up content all the way out through Monday. By Wednesday, I had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all recorded, all done, because I just wanted to enjoy it. And I'm so glad that that was the decision that I pre-decided, because I saw people walking around filming stuff, and I was like, I don't want to do that. That's not the thing I want to do. So I'm glad that I did not do. This is something. So you see, if you haven't seen, what are we on? Is that 3? So now we'll do 2. This is going to get addressed. So during the duration of this, I don't know how far we'll get to putting this thing back together, because I am going to fix the wiring situation on this. I want to install, I have my drawer of regular lights. I think these, I'm pretty sure these are the same exact lights I'm using for his rock lights. Yes. I want to install these like maybe somewhere on the back of the cab, because he has no rearward facing lights. I'm also contemplating finding the little guys that have the tail lights. Maybe tail lights, I don't know. But the wiring is getting cleaned up for 100%. And this is, my fingers, I'm already turning gray from this thing. I previously watched your anti-squat, anti-dive in a question. When following the angle on the rear lower link, does that change when using high clearance links? It does not, because the eyes don't move. Like, so there's that point and that point. If that link was shaped like a V, those 2 points would still be in the same spot. So just think of a high clearance link as a triangle with the hypotenuse missing. The line from there to there is always that hypotenuse, even whether it's high clearance or straight, because everything is triangulated anyway. This is a triangle that forms here to here to here. It's triangles on top of triangles. Is that cab chopped? No, this is just a Phoenix with the rear fenders taken off. Now the cage is cut. There should be a bar right here. But because the Zoku, even on 85s, has so much more travel, I cut those bars out and was willing to sacrifice the fenders. The only thing it makes me want to do is figure out 3D printing. I would love a fake tusk. I would love a fake tusk with like the thinnest possible wall. I don't know how to do that. Somebody figure out how to do that. Because a 3D printed tusk, even if it was on a regular wheel, would be fine, because like it would just look cool. Like it would look cool. But I'm not putting a whole tire back there. Those things are heavy. What do you think about those 12 grit Apple Valley metamorphic rocks? Man, I'm telling you something. People, okay? If I get it. On the drive up there, I was like, why would people come out here to the desert? Why would you come out here? It does not matter what tire you bring. It really doesn't. To an extent. I brought Daphne with me. I was tooling around the day with Daphne and Gary Musey, and then I drove this guy exclusively at night because he's bristling with lights. X2SS is basically unnecessary out there. It's almost too soft. Especially if you have big underdrive, big overdrive. I was driving, and you could watch wear visibly appearing on the tires as you were driving it. They are truly 12 grit. So, you know, I talk about that perfect feather. Look at his tread. It's perfect. And what did he do? If you want to talk about advantages, unspoken advantages, he came fresh from Proline and went straight out on deadline and just walked it. Didn't even have to try. So I got to figure out how to make some 12 grit. I see the video of the guy that visited Canada. He said, "Thank you, Seth. You got outed." Did I? The guy in Australia called me Troy, and a guy in the comments has been calling me Tony for at least 2 years. I have amazing news. A member of the 404 is coming to Spain for a couple weeks. He's going to bring some 2-2 ruptures. Awesome. That is awesome. Hello from cardiologist land. Yes, events are there to have fun, not get content. I agree. Definitely add the taillights if you can find them. I won a raffle, and all I thought was if I could get that 118 Red Cat, I'm giving it to you. Let me. Anybody who loves anything about the spreadsheet, all of that goes to Mr. Spain, because I'll tell you the same thing that I've told him many times. If he wasn't doing it, I damn sure wouldn't be. I do the video part. Seriously, I think I've cut 30 zip ties off of this thing. Yeah, and I'm contemplating, like, I think now, on the receiver that I'm running now, I think that I can put the receiver down on the side. I put it on the back for a reason, though. Yes, the desert is very abrasive. Try Hustlers, but they aren't even good at that. No, yeah, that's true. The 110 scales town they set up was pretty cool. Yeah, it was. I think I drove all the courses. I think I did them all. And the one that I did next to last on Saturday night, Team Reckless Crew, the one that was basically set up for night driving, that one was awesome. That was my favorite one of the whole thing. You could find the stuff. You could see how much work they'd gone through to set that thing up. All the courses were nice, and it was a refreshing change. But, like, I mean, that's why I treated it kind of like vacation. I don't know if it's something that I would do, like, all the time. It's too far. There was so much walking. Did you talk to Matt and Harley? No, I did not. I saw them over in the Vanquish booth. But I mean, let's be honest. I don't. What would I have to talk about? What would we discuss? They run a very different type of business than I do. Well, I guess step one is I don't necessarily regard it as a business. I saw on Instagram the 10 scale town. My mother thought it was real until she saw the people in the background. Yeah, it did look really cool. They also had a 24th scale. They had a mini crawler course. The mini crawler course was really cool too. And the advantage to mini crawlers was visible there because those guys don't have to walk very far. Their whole course would fit inside the canyon like 3 times, maybe 4 times. Where some of the other courses were big and long and there was a lot of walking. A lot of walking. Do they have campgrounds? Yeah, it's at Horseman's Center is a campground. There's like a BMX park or a motocross park. I'm not sure which one it is. And it's a campground in that there are paved roads and there are places to park, but like there's no facilities, there's no water, there's no electricity, there's no any of that stuff. But yeah, there was a campground and it was mostly filled before we even got there. I got there Friday about noonish, 12:30, and most of the people that were camping, the people that were inside the event, were there like Wednesday or Thursday. So no. By Sunday morning, I was past ready to go home. It was long past time to go home. I told the guys I went with, were I to do it again, and there's no guarantees, but were I to do it again, I would head Friday afternoon. Here's a side note. Here is why big bores are amazing. These have been on here since I could no longer endure the leaking of the SADs, they have never been touched. As you can see, if you can look in there, there's a little tiny bit of dirt on there, but this is why I mean big bores. We're talking 97% of Argenum's life. He's been on these big bores. And you might say, well, why not Dravtex? At the time he was being built, the only ones that they had available in stock through Deluxe were like green, orange, pink, purple. And then I was like, I'll just buy these as like a placeholder. But it turned out that they're not a placeholder. They're just good. Sounds like an RV would be ideal. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. What's the battery charging situation like? Just bring out your pack charger. That's what I did. Here's what's still left over from what I took. I took 14 charged batteries and found out the true capabilities and capacities of a 2200. I was mostly using Ovonic and Z2200s. I can get over 90 minutes of night driving with this guy with all the lights on out of a 2200. So I just had another one in my pocket. So I could have made it through the whole weekend on like 6 or 7 batteries. But I took my charger, and the guy I went with, the guy who owns the Frontline, who has the Brazen Frontline, he has one of those little Honda Predator generators, which is quite literally quieter than, like that Genzace right now is making its fan noise. It's quieter than that. That thing is the quietest generator I've ever heard in my life. And it's one of those things that I guess you have to have if you're going to do like desert things. I'm not a desert things guy. I'd rather have a built van than a full RV. The double-edged sword. I can't complain, but sometimes I still do. The RV that I was in is not built for people of my, let's say, height. I didn't fit on the bed at all. So my knees and neck still hurt a little bit from your body will do all sorts of strange contortions while you're asleep to try to try to keep you all on the surface you're trying to sleep on. I'm trying to see, is there a color on these? Oh, I'm just running. It looks like I'm running element grays all the way around. Z2200 or 30% off on a 2-pack at Amazon right now. Why do you tell me these things? Do you have any idea? Do you have any conceptual idea of how much money I spent on Amazon yesterday? Okay, now I know that Proline is not my bag, but all the Proline tires are on sale on Amazon right now. So, like, use an affiliate link if you remember to do so. Every Proline tire is between $23 and $24 a pair, which is where they should be priced all the time. But, you know, they're doing the whole Joanne Crafts thing to us. I'm not one to... And bodies. Their bodies are on sale as well. Just cleaning the shock here. Oh. What did you say? Z's? Z2200s. I could always use a couple more Z2200s. What are they at? Z3S. $36.99 and 30. Oh, they did it. Yeah. They did the craft store thing. $36.99 with 30% off. I haven't bought a pair of the Z's since May of 2023. So, can we stack? Oh, wait, hold on. Hold up. There might be a stacking there might be a stacking coupon with this. I'm just buying things on Amazon right now. Yeah. All right. $25.89 for the pair. I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. Do I need more batteries? Actually, Yes, I probably do. Some of these are a little knackered. I lose, honestly. Oh man. It might be a battery a month. It might be a battery a month that just I plug it in and one cell is just gone. Yeah, $23 for Predator Aztecs. A pair, yeah. CNHL flash sale, 2000s for $8. Yeah, I'm sold on the 2200s. I've done a 2-mile walk on a single 6L NIM 4200. I love how long the runtime. Oh yeah, yeah. If you had a 4200 lipo, you could add another mile to that. I mean, our Genom weighs 8 pounds. Had I don't know how many LEDs on him, and he got almost 2 hours out of his first pack. I on the first night I crawled for 3.5 hours. I got finished about 12:30. And the second night, I could not walk nearly as far. I was done by like 11:15 or so on the second night. And it's the desert, so it didn't even get cold because the rocks just kept giving off heat. So you were just sweating in the dark. I could have done without sweating in the dark. Always storage charge if not going to use it. I just take the other method, whereas I just run them down. When they go to cutoff, if you haven't set it a normal cutoff, that's basically 50%. If one goes to full cutoff, then I'll charge it back up. But I don't obey any. I obey nearly none of the rules. I leave batteries fully charged sitting in a bag because, as was evidenced by the purchase I just made a moment ago, like $12 a piece. Is Aztec a Canyon Trail psyched copy? The Aztec to me looks more like a Trepador. It's got more Trepador flavor to it. Most of my batteries are 2200s, generally about 2 hours. Yeah, seems about right. I'm interested to try the Aztec just to see. I mean, I want to test all the tires. I've got some stuff because of the low prices. Oh wait, no, that's a white. Okay, we got to keep those together. I don't want to put a wait. So it's white. It is white. Okay, rear whites, front grays. All right. 1500 NIM batteries on crap $20 electronics lasts for a long time. Yeah, when I built years ago, I built a TTL1, to me a TTL1 to be a drift car, and it had one of those little flat, what I call airsoft packs in it, like the really pancake, almost basically like, I've lost it, basically like a transmitter pack. They're like this, but they're longer, and you could drive that vehicle for 2 hours, well over 2 hours, and it wouldn't even be half dead. The red wheels for the Kona, do we have to wait for the video? No, you don't have to wait for the video. I just, that fell in between. So yeah, I don't know, did I post a picture? Like, in my head, I feel like I posted a picture, but I guess in reality I didn't. I thought I did. So, here is how I intend to take it out next time. The only change that I would want to actively make is the fact that it has a blue servo on it is killing me. But here's the temper, all freshly redone, fresh out of the pack, brand new rims, brand new tires. Just running them on the foams because this thing basically it doesn't even weigh enough for greens. We're getting a reasonable steering angle. It's not phenomenal, but it should definitely be better. So we'll see how it does. And I've been told that I can flip the gearbox. I can flip the whole transmission and run it the other way around. And if that is the case, I would like to flip it the other way around so that the output for this is on the correct side. This is how I got it. I definitely remember the motor being right there. But at some point, I'm sure I'll have to have this apart again. I've seen, Mr. Spain, I've seen the 35 kgs in red, and I've seen 40 kgs in red. Probably not strong enough, but it's red. Yeah, I want to go at least a 35 or a 40. The 35 seemed like it was doing okay, but we had the whole limitation of Spectrum DX3 radio. It's set up to run through a radio link now, so it's a lot better. A red 60. That's big. All right. Yeah, he's definitely he definitely doesn't sit around. He doesn't hit in that many spots. Like the rod ends aren't really very ground off. Most of the grindage is on the pumpkin on the front, but it's not even near to worn yet. So we're not worried about that. Let's see if we can pop this thing apart, because we've got to do the full deal. Because I need to see what the insides of the axles look like. I need to see what the drive shaft pieces look like. These are his stock drive shafts. Switch off. Honestly, it's not that bad. For something that has as many hours as this guy does, he's looking okay. Yeah, the Mias did great out there. Daphne did great, but it turned out her tires were honestly just too soft for how abrasive the surface is out there. He developed a fairly powerful squeak out there. I tried not to over juice it, knowing that just a few days later I was going to be taking it apart. My hands are going to be black by the time I'm done. Ooh. I do have a set of cut-to-lengths. I have another set of cut-to-lengths. Oh, those are probably on sale, too. The other Crawler Canyon was at the Great Lakes Gauntlet this past weekend. I don't think he's a fan. Ooh, if you have more of that, you gotta let me know. You gotta let me know about more of that. I would love to hear more of that. A friend of mine dropped off some free boulders for my rock gardening. Excellent. I have a G-Made Komodo. What axles should I get to have better steering angle? G-Made Komodo. Is that the pickup truck? It should. So that would be on GA44s. The steering angle's not bad on GA44s. They might just have. Okay. Well, confirm with me that it's on GA44s. Because if it's on, yeah, like so. Mr. Billiam, he's on GA44s. Like the steer angle's not bad at all. I mean, they just copied an AR44. Now, what the difference would be is I think it's going to come down to what you're running for knuckle. These are just generic Amazon, who knows, brass knuckles, and he seems to get plenty of steering angle. There's no limitations there. It is quite at the limit of what the CVDs will do. But I mean, you can. Are they offset? Yes, they are. Ooh, offset and backwards. You can replace them with, F10s. Realistically, maybe find some knockoff F10s. F10s will give you more steering angle, and the fitment should be almost identical. Who's the other Crawler Canyon? There's a place in Chicagoland, outside Chicago in Illinois, also called Crawler Canyon. Seems he gets complaints by either customers, suppliers wanting to know why you're talking about things sold in the shop. I'm going to need a minute. Oh my God. My whole day. You know what? I could open this up and something could have exploded inside the gear. I wouldn't even care. I wouldn't even care. My whole day is made. My whole weekend is made. Sounds like he thinks the channel should be named something else since he had it first. Here's the problem. He didn't. They used to be called like Thelma and Louise's RC trailer or something like that. Because if he wants to make the beefs, he's more than welcome to come on over and make the beefs, and here's why. If he had it first, then how am I Crawler Canyon and Crawler Canyon? I'm Crawler Canyon everywhere. I'm Crawler Canyon on Instagram. I'm Crawler Canyon on YouTube. I'm Crawler Canyon right there. So he didn't have it first. He registered the domain in like 2022, late 2022, and he did the blanket. So he's got crawlercanyon.com, crawlercanyon.net. He's got all that. I had no desire to register a website. I still don't. I'm not selling product. Also, my dubbing of Crawler Canyon is purely because I like the alliterative quality of it. Crawler Canyon, it's the hard K sounds. I don't think he has any more claim to it than I do. If anybody has a complaint, it should be me, because I have to go to every single video that I upload and manually turn off automatic places, disable automatic places, so that YouTube doesn't auto-link me to the other Crawler Canyon. I want that burned into a thing. Complaints by customers or suppliers wanting to know why you're talking bad about things sold in the shop. That's awesome. I've peaked. We've peaked. I hope it's not all downhill from here, because that is peak. All my RCs have $20 or so. Red cases, 20, 30, 60. All my RC10 too is a super duver. Yeah, I mean, if they had wanted to generate a web presence, I imagine they could have done that. But he didn't. So here we are. I mean, it can't be about a brand recognition thing. Because, I mean, I think I could field an argument that I have a brand. I don't think him being called Crawler Canyon is necessary to his quote-unquote brand. I didn't get that at all. Oh. Yeah, I've got a couple rod ends I can already tell that need replaced. Speaking of which, you just saw him out here a moment ago. This morning, I was whiling away the time. That's got to be dry. That's got to be real dry in there. You must remember, I'm a huge fan. Jellyfish. Actually, more just like a squid at this point. I'm a huge fan of the CV joint grease. This far predates CV joint grease. So it's going to be either red and tacky, or I built it with the Vanquish Blue, one or the other. But it's all gone off the teeth at this point. If he were to trademark it, he could petition YouTube. Yeah, I'm assuming so. Yeah. In building a business, you would think maybe put the horse before the cart. Yeah. There are all kinds of Crawler Canyons. Every mountain town has one. It's no original thought. Even before cars, there were Crawler Canyons. It's a name. Yeah. Canyon Brick and Trailer. That's what it is. Yeah. Do standard Capra portal covers fit the new Mias Capra axles? I like that's the kind of question I like. It's going to take me a minute to locate a Capra cover. I'm not just gonna say yes. Okay. Should we go farther? Or does that look? Can we get closer? Does that I'm gonna say yes. Oh, my brain. I'm gonna say yes. Yeah. Those parts should be compatible. I would say that the third members are not. The third members are very, it's literally just a diamond. So smooth. Like no gear noise. Meanwhile, whee! Ooh, I gotta get those. I gotta take the portals apart too. Yeah, it would honestly surprise me if they didn't fit. Yeah, it's the same bolt pattern. Yeah, these Mias axles are really nicely made. Those are for the future. That's yet another build. We'll get to that one. We'll get to that one. Bad about it. Why is he talking bad about it? That's amazing. So good. Don't talk bad about it. People get real mad if you talk bad about things. But as much effort as I put into it, it is definitely still more hobby than jobby. The hobby is here to sustain itself. It's the vicious cycle of the vicious circle. Does anyone LiPo tariffs are supposed to be first of the year, from what I hear, January 1st, 2025. Do the Mias TRX4 MB24 deals? Oh, those are long gone. Well, a week ago, gone a week ago. Probably gonna end up replacing a bunch of fasteners on these as well. I think I have another Zoku skid. I'll have to see what condition that is in. Yeah, any lock nut that you can take off with your fingers. That's a good one. Let's just throw that away now. I saw more than one person have their steering or other thing on the front end fall apart. It was a situation where a lot of us were driving. That's lock nuts. So those are getting thrown away. That's a little bit on the loose side. What's the best servo and axle adapter for the AR45P? It's probably still Boco. 1/10. It's probably still 1/10. I wish I could say that there was a much cheaper option, but 1/10 does make some phenomenal parts. We should be clear now. Yeah, that's grimy. How are those universals looking? Looking all right. Looking all right. Got a little bit of pin creep on one of them, but otherwise looking okay. I'm gonna have to pull those all the way apart. End up replacing all the screws. If this can, I don't know, man. I gotta tell you, shenanigans at Shingle Diggins sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. Oh, I'm missing some. Anyone know if Flash makes a plastic case brushless servo? Ooh. I don't know. I think all of the Flash hobbies that I've seen are at least metal in the middle, if not metal for the whole thing. That I've seen. But I mean, obviously that's probably not all of them. I'm not stacking fasteners responsibly. I'm gonna forget what goes where for sure. If we can get it clean, that'll be a victory. I've also been debating. So I'm using the Zoku servo mount for the back. That's a longer one. And I've put stuck a little piece of blue acrylic on there to put the receiver on. I'm thinking about just remaking that piece so I can make it like a tray to put the electronics, because they should still be hidden under the box. I've got a lot of room back there. I don't know. Names are a big deal. That's Sierra Mist. Oh, man. Dude. Sierra Mist is one of my favorite things. Like, it's not even spelled the same. And they tried to cease it. For those who are unaware of the lore of Starry, the beverage, Sierra Mist went after this TikToker. So that's Sierra Mist, spelled like the mountain, Sierra. Went after this TikToker, Sierra Mist, Cierra, saying cease and desist because it's too close to their brand. So while this was going on, she realized that their trademark had expired. So she bought it. So now she is Sierra Mist and Sierra Mist. And they tried to buy it back, and she did the most delightfully petty thing. And she was like, no, I'm not selling it. I am Sierra Mist now. So they had to rebrand their beverage to Starry because they no longer owned Sierra Mist. Sierra Mist owns Sierra Mist. I think that's a fitting non-irony, really. Yeah, anytime you start putting lights on things, it gets real messy. Oh, that gearbox is gross. Somewhere between Rattler and Junkbot. That's not a bad place to be. Hopefully more on the Rattler side than somewhere between Rattler and Junkbot. I mean, you know, I'm no great fan of 3D printing, but I'll be damned if this thing ain't holding up. And it's tapped. I mean, it's tapped and it's working. The gearbox is gross. What am I running on here? 2384, 2387, something like that? Have you any experience with D-Links? I just got a set of Capra misbrash on brown dollar numbers. No, they're always sold out. When I was still buying name brand link sets, like if you go back to the old heads here, like Daphne's on a full set of Samix links. We've got a number of full name brand link sets. D-Links perpetually out of stock, always out of stock. I don't remember ever seeing a time when they were in stock. So I never got a set. So I didn't avoid buying them because I didn't believe in them. I was unable to buy them because they never had them. Can't you consider 3D printing like the inverted version of moldy plastic? Kind of. Yeah, kind of. I was making a part this morning, and the entire time that I was making it, all I could keep thinking was, this is why I don't like 3D printing. Because I guess I need that immediacy where I had made a part from nothing to done in 25 minutes, and there was no question as to whether or not it was going to work. It was just going to work. So this gearbox has had every part of it changed except the plastics at the rear. And honestly, I'm considering I'm going to dig through the bin and see if I can't change those plastics out. How's this guy feeling? Feels like a Fusion. It's not even, I mean, look how clean it stays down in there. Not even any. So hidden inside of a VFD. No scratches, a little bit of dust on the nose. This is why, be wary, folks. Be wary if someone is selling you their used electronics, because, you'd never know, right? Like you'd say, used once. Like barely ever used. That thing has seen some stuff. Do you have a parts number for the longer axle studs on the Mias Nylon portals? I wonder. Can I log into my own live stream on the phone? That would make it a lot easier to post links. And I do. I do. For the Mias nylons, I don't know if I did longer. I know I did bigger. I run like Ratchet runs the 5mm axles instead of 4s. I will have to look that one up. When I first read it, I thought I read Capra. But yeah, I can look it up. I have the link to it somewhere. I'm sure that's super helpful. I don't know. Actually, once I got to here, I don't know if I need to take the whole thing apart. This part's not bad. We do need to tighten that. I should be responsible and replace the lock nuts, but I probably won't be. Just crank them down. Yeah, mini fusion. Hey, we got the mini fusion. That's a step in the right direction for the mini folks. Now, as pointed out, we just need a 4S one. And some different kV options. They need to make a pre-runner one that's in like 3,500 kV. I don't know what it is about the architecture or the fusion specifically that makes them all limited to 3S. I don't know. Maybe that's just a choice by Hobbywing. I assume the ESC on the inside is just 3S capable, but maybe they can't fit a 4S capable one in the size of the can that a Fusion is based off of. I mean, that's a possibility. So I can't take full blame because I didn't know they existed initially. So if you're putting together a Zoku or something like that, and you're gonna put micros on it like these guys, our design makes the horn that you need because it's the 25 spline micro, and then all of the holes on it are for regular 3mm hardware, whereas the hardware on these are super duper tiny. So I build there's a you see the top cap right there? There's actually a bushing. I build a bushing and then I use a 2mm screw with a lock nut and everything. I've never had any issues. It's never fallen apart or anything, but it is an absurd amount of labor and effort to put into something that you can buy for like $11. So my recommendation is just to spend the $11. Need about 2 to 3mm wider. What I tend to do in those instances is machine the hex down. Machine the hex down a couple millimeters, and then, if necessary, change out the hub to make them wider. The only ones I know that are explicitly built with more, and the only difference between them is for TRX4, they make an extended axle. Let's see if I have one that's not in the vehicle. I do. So here is a regular TRX4 stub, and as you can see, there's just a tiny little bit of thread outside there. And then the extended ones are literally just more threads. That's all they are. They copied everything else identically, and then they just put more threads on it. Does that look bent? Is that an optical contusion? I don't know. That reminds me, on an upcoming build, I've got to scavenge a stub axle from something so that I can make a spur gear mount. Because I may or may not have stolen the spur gear mount that I need. That micro servo, can you program as a winch too? As to my understanding, the A20 CLSs are fully programmable, and you can make them into anything. Yes, they are fully programmable with the AGFRC programmer. I wonder if this thing was actually getting any. Like, you want to talk about zero clearance? I got tight that spur gear sits in there. What am I doing? I might have been getting a little slip action out of here, not a lot. I'm trying to think of it right now, and I can't for the life of me remember why I would have replaced the existing one. But, as I say, here we are. 81. 2381. Is that a number? 4669. 82. It's almost 4 to 1. Yeah, his gearing felt phenomenal the whole time I was out there, so. Did you see the Traxxas Outrunner? No, I didn't. Traxxas Outrunner. You're making me Google now. Traxxas Outrunner. If I was good at running the software. Oh, and also that reminds me. I will be sure to pass along to the toter, to the camera toter, that their efforts are still appreciated. Well, the only thing that comes up for me is Lineon. Anyone see the Capo Queen? Capo Queen, no existence in the United States, from as far as I can tell. Traxxas Outrunners for the TRX4M. What do you think is the biggest rig the new Fusion, Mini Fusion could handle? I don't know. I haven't even looked at the specs on it. I don't know how many amps the controller is. Don't worry about the size of the can. Worry about the amount of amps that the ESC can provide. Like for a full UTB-18 could probably get away with like 25 amps. It's probably plenty. Anything bigger is going to want like 40. I think most anybody can get away with 40, short of like TRX6s and bigger things, Rarlos and whatnot. The Mini Fusion is shown in the shown in the UTB-18. A UTB-18 weighs like a pound in stock configuration. It does not need a lot of power to get moving. Yeah, everything on him, despite how much time this guy has put in, he looks pretty good. Everything still feels pretty good. We're gonna replace most, if not all, of the hardware. We will see how many bearings we end up replacing. I have to pull this gearbox all the way apart just because I want to see what it looks like on the inside. I don't expect anything broken. Now so people have talked about the click, because although he did not exhibit click, we have that. There's, I don't know, 0.5 millimeter, maybe more. Other than that, everything feels really smooth. And out on that extreme high grip surface, oh man, my train of thought is gone. The 46% overdrive was really coming in handy. There was a couple pulls that I don't think I would have made. Well, I couldn't have made it on 6.5. Could I have made it on 20? Well, probably, because that's what Daphne and Gary Musey have, and I was doing fine on that. 46 is just way too much for most things. Starting my Revolt build Sunday. Is anyone else here building one? Eventually. Oh, the Fusion Mini is 3080. Yeah, that's plenty. Yeah, that's borderline overpowered for a UTB-18. Because it is my thinking, no confirmation on this, that most of the 40 amp AM32 controllers are probably 40 amp peak controllers. Oh, I almost missed a question. Somebody said, what are your thoughts on the OD3 knockoff? I think I have 3 of them. They're pretty good. They're a pain all the way up in your tuchus to set up. Get your gear mesh set. Basically, I view it as kind of something. Wait. We're in an hour? Okay, we're in an hour. There you go. Quick! That's a good one. hypnotic. Look at this. She's over there. She looks like a cake. That was a good spin. That's a good spin. We got a good spin today. You had to wait an hour to get to it, but I needed to move some stuff anyway. Yeah, the speaking of Argenum, the hardest thing to do while out there in the desert was keep the RC8 going. I turned the backlight down to like 30%, and with the backlight at 30%, by the end of the first night, I was at like 7.4 volts on the battery from full. So well past half the battery in 4 hours. The RC8 will drink a battery. I might have leaned into that spin a little bit. I didn't even know how much I was leaning into that spin. This is the only part that I do hate having to take this thing all the way apart. We have to. I need to see inside. Somebody mentioned. Okay. I think I know where that goes. I think I was using that right there to space into the motor. I hope. Argenum has never had a spa day. The first time he's been completely pulled apart. Now his gearbox, this is not the first time it has been pulled apart, because I chased the click for what feels like ever. I have black beadlock hardware now. I can put black hardware on them. Definitely, definitely more grit inside than I would have liked. Yeah, it's time. It is definitely, that is completely embedded inside the box. That's definitely more grit and grime inside. Oh, you can see the front end of that dog. Chunky. It was time. It was time. You know, I'm not mad about it. So the little rubber doors, I mean, they work, but they're not magical. I'm most impressed by the shocks. The fact that I don't have to break into the shocks. Oh, so how deep do I have to go into my trans? Here's the worst part about the VFD. Okay, so you just have is there a twin? That is a twin. Okay, so you have to take all of this stuff off. You have to take the doors and the little rubber guys off of there. You got to pull this out. You got to pull the linkage arms out, because we're going to clean all those. Because the VFD and the twin, both all of the flavors of VFD are built from the back forward. So to get that whole mechanism that holds the OD on, you have to remove that to get to that screw. So there's no way around. It's a big boy too. There's no way around taking that whole thing apart to get to that. Then you take the one on the other side, which is shorter, and then the one on the bottom, which is another 12. And that is how you get the back housing off. Let's see if we can get everything to stay on the gearbox side. It usually doesn't happen, but maybe we'll get there. You know, it doesn't look too bad. Shims are still in place. Anybody stick to the O-rings? Nope. Okay. Shims are still in place. We've got some definite wear right there at the front of the shaft for the dig locker. These are all machined, of course, and they definitely have they've got the real stuff. They've got CV joint grease on them. Yeah, it still feels really smooth. But you unfortunately, oh, look at that. He doesn't like getting in super close. Look at the crud in there. That's kind of impressive. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. That's the good stuff. That's the stuff you want to get out. Some of that is grease. A lot of that is not. Yeah, we gotta pull this thing all the way apart. Yeah. And you need to get to the pin. You need to get to the front pin, because it is my belief that it is the pin right up here. Oh yeah, there's definitely there's definitely some grease coming out of this thing. He needs to get to the front end pin, because this is, think of this stuff all as transfer case, the part that has the overdrive and the dig in it. So you got to take all those pieces out. Building a twin is akin to building a clock. That's how I always try to say it. We got to pull the clips off. And then we need a screwdriver to get the other clip off. And that one's gone. So we're going to have to find another clip, because that one just went into outer space. Did I just see that? Did the whole thing just go? Blah, blah, blah? Now, there's also the possibility that it is this little tiny micro pin right there, because that also transmits power from the front to the back. So it could be this pin up here. It could be this pin right here. And it might not have broken. It might just have slipped out of the gear. I don't know. I couldn't see inside. I just know it was not making a lot of noise. Oh, okay, hold on. I was in I was in the Vanquish live stream, and someone asked about the click, and they said, what click? Then we even had one here and could not make it click. That's just, see, when I say the difference between guys who are in the business and me who is not in the business, there you go. To claim that there's no click is wild. Absolutely wild. Now, I think that they have, if not fixed it, then at least mostly fixed it, because Argenum is a launch edition. I got him on pre-order, so it's not entirely surprising to me that he clicked. They seem to have changed some things, so maybe they don't click now. But an outright denial that there's no click is. And just think, he's got all the things like the bearing carriers and everything, and none of these came with him. Buy all this. Went black for a second. Okay, I thought I saw that. And I wasn't near the camera, so it wasn't like I bumped into it. Yeah, he looks pretty okay up in the front end. But if we're going to take the thing apart, we might as well take the thing apart. Yeah, I'm not sure that the gentleman in question is going to want to pull his VFD twin all the way apart. So I'm guessing you're still putting off getting into the temperature. Yeah, not necessarily. I think they might be okay now. They didn't feel like they were that far off, so I wasn't hustling to pull them apart, because I'm not sure that they need desperately pulled apart. The turmoil of photography cameras for live stream. That is right. But we have suspenders to go with our belt now, so If anything decides that it wants to be stupid, that's okay. We have 2 more cameras. And I made sure to leave old this guy like easily accessible. Like he's just on a little, I can just move him around. He's not bolted down or anything. So we can switch, if need be, we can switch cameras literally this fast. So, warning, the current stream's bitrate is low. By the time it gives me the notification, my bitrate is back up. We are dropping a ton of frames. So she'll be done with work shortly. I always forget a screw. No, I don't. Let's see how we're looking. Bearings don't look too bad. I've definitely seen worse. Something loud just slammed into the roof. Gonna be a you problem. Yeah, I can fix it, no problem. Off topic, tusks or megalithics in class 1? I mean, if we're just talking about cosmetics, it's the tusk all the way. But it's going to go by your environment more than anything. Like your conditions, the conditions that you drive in. I still think, regardless of what the scores might be, and I can't remember them off the top of my head, I still think the Tusk is a more versatile tire. The Tusk works in more places, but the Megalithic is, and I've heard it referred to as such, it might have been me that said it, it's like the Tusk and a Rupture had a baby. It just kind of, I mean, I think Megalithics are uglier than Ruptures, personally. But in terms of performance, you can't go wrong. It's green. I'm glad I'm not there yet. On my VRD, it was tricky enough to get it to work right the first time. The first time, so when I first built this gearbox, this was the first VFD of any kind that I had ever built, and I went straight into the deep end and built a twin. And oh man, did I get it wrong. I got it wrong more than once. I definitely got it wrong more than once. But now, I've had these things apart so many times that I just kind of throw them back together now. Except for the E-clip rocketing off. I'm going to have to find another 3mm E-clip. Let's see. Probably this one. There's a good amount, like, okay, so is that bearing not rotating on that one? Or is I think what that is, so that's where the pin comes through. That comes out of the front of the gearbox and goes through here into the back section where the transfer case is. I think that is actually, it's this gear. So this gear sits on the pin right here. I think there's enough, I'm doing it again. There's enough play in that gear on the pin that it has worn all of the oxide? Is it black oxide? Whatever the coating that they put on this shaft. Because that is worn pretty smooth. There's no burrs, there's no bends, there's no nothing. Like, all the gears look fine. It's just, this is a clean out and reassembly. I don't even think the bearings are in any kind of shape that need to be addressed. I just want to make sure that if I have like shims on here that I'm not accidentally pulling them off. Yeah, we're just going to gum it back up with more CV joint grease. Put it back together. And then turn our attention to the axles. This is the kind of thing that happens around here. When I ask this, most say Tusk on original foam. Yeah, there's really, I mean, they know what they're doing. Yeah, I might have over-greased. That's a lot of grease coming out. But, much like when you're changing the oil on your insert vehicle here, as long as there's no chunks in that grease, it's all good. Yeah, I would say Tusk just because I own one set of Class 1 Megs and one set of Class 2. Who am I the only one? I think I said this in the last one, but it's been a couple weeks. Who here is also surprised? Is surprised that one of the Class 3 offerings from J Concepts is not megalithics. How is there no 525 megalithic yet? I think that might be the best of the megalithics. Although the Class 1 was really good. I thought the Class 1 was better. Now I'm remembering the Class 1 I thought was better than the Class 2. So I really want to see the Class 3 ones. My dad has gone full-blown belt and suspenders. It's definitely a fashion statement. Hey, man. Double it up. Oh, and I've noticed J Concepts have dropped their prices too. Tusk were 28 a pair, and now they're 24 to compete with Roland. Oh, no, I think Tusks, Class 2 Tusks were always 24. I think the Class 1 Tusks cost more. I will Google to confirm. Because we just go to Aiming Hobbies, and then we search for Tusk. I want to say that the Class 1 Tusk costs more than the Class 2 Tusk. Oh no, Class 1, 25, Class 2, 28, Class 3, 31.50. I'm all right with that. Full size, the big boys are 37.50, and the SCX 6 size are $49 a pair. What are your thoughts on a Zoku Portal Phoenix versus a Carbon VRD with Dig? I think that what will differentiate them, and I'm not saying, okay, I'm not saying anything conspiratorial. I'm merely stating this for a point of clarity. That if you were to hold up a VRD rail next to a Zoku Phoenix rail, you might notice that they are rather similar. They're rather similar in geometry. I'm not also saying that one happens to predate the other by a good bit. Well, let me put it to you this way. Let me say something without saying it. I think the ZRD handles better than the VRD, and the VRD is very good because the VRD shares geometry, a lot of geometry cues from something else. That something else may or not be sitting on the bench. But I think the ZRD has a geometry that is more optimized to the layout of the VRD than the VRD itself. So the ZRD is a refinement of the VRD, because the VRD is kind of an interpretation of a Zoku Phoenix-ish. Sort of. I'm not saying anything directly. I'm just saying that there are only so many geometries, right? This isn't like how many moves are there in chess. There are only so many geometries that you can put on an LCG. I think the ZRD does the job better than a VRD at the extreme ultimate end of performance. But if we're comparing them side by side, directly side by side, so we're looking at a Zoku Portal Phoenix like this, that's just partly, so we're talking about this versus a VRD that has Dig fitted. I think you're going to have to even the playing field even more. If I were to take Argenum and take off his extra bits so we don't have all this wiring and throw a comp body on it, I think it holds its own against a VRD without problem. I mean, it's going to have the same axles. It's going to have the variable overdrive or front burn, depending on if you've bothered to set up your front. There's a lot more versatility to a Phoenix, particularly a Zoku Phoenix. I feel like the VRD is very single-minded. Like, it's a comp rig that's built like a comp rig, looks like a comp rig, drives really well, does a lot of great things, but I don't see it having the same level of versatility that a Zoku Phoenix has. And I have definitely said this in the past, that if it's a Sophie's choice and I have to pick one, then it's a Phoenix, for sure. Because you can go whatever direction you want to go with a Phoenix. You can leave the big old tall body on it. You can put a cab only on it. You can put a Rock 1 on it. You can do a lot of things to a Phoenix. And it's got Dig and Potential hot take. I think this dig works better than the dig that goes on the VFD. The twin dig is better than the add-on VFD dig. I don't know. Maybe that isn't a hot take. I'm not changing the tire prices on the spreadsheet. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it either. We go by the like basic, the like regular prices on the spreadsheet. Even if it's the like MSRP prices, that's fine. Because however high now like I was contacted by the guy from Extreme Route and said that he'd lowered his prices, so he asked if I could lower them on the spreadsheet. And when I read that, I was filled with glee, because that means that guy, not only does that guy watch the videos, he's been to the spreadsheet? That's crazy. Also, on top of that, they dropped the price on lampreys and huge pins by $10 a pair. And I'm all for that. I'm all for unanticipated price reductions. I have 31% overdrive in my gearbox. What gears do I need to lower it by 10% in my axles? And should I reduce front or increase rear? You should reduce front. If you have the ability to increase your overall gear ratio, this is mechanical advantage. So depending on what your axles are, you just want to put a 10% underdrive ring and gear in your front axle. This will slow the whole vehicle down about 10%, which will give you more fidelity of control. And worst case scenario, you'll put one more tooth on the pinion. So if you have like a 14, you'll put a 15. And that'll bring you right up to the speed you were before. I think you might, unless you're doing a lot of trailing, I think you'll like the overall lower speed though, because it will give you, the higher your gear reduction number gets, the better control you have. Building my first, Extreme Route is one guy. Oh, well, there you go. All right. That's good to know. What are we doing? Our Jenum's getting a spa day. Wait, is it better here? And well, kind of. Is it better here? Well, there's that just wait, there you go. There's the pile of stuff. I'm gonna finish doing the gearbox, and then I'm gonna get to the axles. This is the kind of thing that I would ordinarily be doing. I mentioned it. It will come up in the videos coming up over the weekend and into next week. You will hear me complain, or not complain, but offer my excuses for why I'm being a terrible documentarian, which is a thing that I'm terrible at. I'm a terrible documentarian. So what'll happen is I'll start working on something. I'll record the little bit of the video, and then I'll start working on something. And when I'm working on it, I'll hit the Pandora, which is right over here on the ancient iPad. And some of that dang Nero, that new Nero album will come up. And next thing you know, it's been like an hour, and I haven't even thought to, oh. So that's where all the grit went. I haven't even thought to turn the camera back on, so. AR-44 front, yeah. 833, get an 833 underdrive gear and put it in the front. I try to avoid underdriving whenever possible. There's so much grit. So this is where all the grit navigated to, into the back section of the gearbox. It's machine gears. It's not going to do anything. It's just not going to make him very quiet. Hey, 5 more gift memberships. Oh, bow. I had a... Wait, do I still have it? I used to have an app on my phone. Do I still have it? Yeah, I do. Very gritty. Very gritty. Unfortunately, it all mixes with the grease, so you can't really get an eye on how much. There was one of the gentlemen that's in the chat is the guy with the front line, and he was there, and I was digging a hole. We were trying to get up this giant rock that had like a dirt slot in it, and we were just kicking dirt up everywhere. And our Genum got into it pretty good. That's gonna put me up to like 130 some odd. We were at one point we're at like 153 members, and I checked it because we've been skipping a bunch of live streams this month. I checked it and we were down to like 122 or something. That's the lowest member number I've seen in a lot, like this year in 2024. When those gift ones run out, they're just gone. As never was. Lamprey's worth getting? Yeah. Yeah. I have not tested it to the extreme, but I have seen some indication that our good buddy Dawnwall, which is a great name for a compound, by the way, Dawnwall is in that category with Predator, with Injora S5, with the exotics where they get greasy when it gets hot. So if you take it out and it's hot, be aware that the performance of your lampreys might fall off a little bit. They've been great here. I was lucky enough to test them on nearly predator weather. Not full predator weather, but closer to predator weather than not. Was just talking to someone from, where did he say he was from? Somewhere in the Northeast? Maine? Could it be Maine? About the temperatures, the operating temperature range for predator compound. But when I'm talking about temperature, I'm talking about surface temperature. Because it can be cool out and the rocks can still be hot, and kind of vice versa until the sun has soaked into those rocks and heat soaked them. That's why I can get out there later in the day, even if it's hot in the air. As long as we're not in the direct sun and the rocks haven't heated up, stuff won't be falling off. Although maybe we'll get some autumn. There might be some autumn. Have you get the Rhino RC Moses yet? No, I haven't. I wish. RC family, I wish. Do you play any musical instruments? I kind of feel like you're the guy who pulls out a harmonica and blows people's minds now and then. No, I don't know if I have music inside me. I have been told that I can pick up the downbeat, which is apparently, like, most people only hear the upbeat, but I can pick up the downbeat. Like, more often, like if I'm snapping along to a song, I will be snapping along to the downbeat, and people are like, how did you do that? I'm like, I don't know, it's just how I hear it. But no, I can't play the piano, the guitar, I can't sing, I can't dance. What do you do? No, I am limited in my abilities, capacities. I was trying to think of a third thing that I'm also limited in. Cognitive ability? Does that count? It's definitely limited. It's supposed to be fall, 113 today. Yeah. Did you see that? Oh, wait. Okay, wait. Let me get in order. MIP drive shafts. Any good? Hold on. I'm trying not to trip over the broom that I left in the walkway. Do you know how, on the MIP website, if you go to buy MIP drive shafts, it asks if you want to buy rebuild kits? Never touched. Not once. They were assembled, and they've been on there since she was built. Like, I remembered MIP back from the old day. So, Daphne the Sport, the divine lady, Daphne the Sport, got MIP X-Duty drive shafts in, like, 2021. I've never serviced them. I've never taken them apart. I've never replaced a pin or a barrel. They still look brand new. Like, they're fantastic. Why do I not have more of them? Because they are crazy expensive. Like, way more money than I'm going to pay. But would I change them off of Daphne? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So yes, I can attest to the quality of MIP tooling. Usually moving across the bench, what are you going to see? You're going to see MIP. Except for my combo wrench, Stahlville. It's almost all MIP. And then, I think these are companions. They were like $3.99. Still great for putting on and taking off E-clips. But yeah, MIP drive shafts are great, but my goodness, are they expensive. Okay, did you see the Rock Pirates Rum Runner? The Rock Pirates Rum Runner, okay, let me tell you something. All right? I've said a phrase that goes something along the lines of, these boutique chassis manufacturers are getting out of hand. I have to amend that. and update that. These boutique manufacturers are already out of hand. $350 for the Rum Runner chassis, which, as far as I can tell, is a skid, 2 wings, spacers, rails, and links for $350. $350. What are we doing? I mean, Zoku is $200. And for $200, all you get are rails, skid, servo mount, dig mount, overdrive mount, rear bumper mount, front bumper mount. The new one has a winch mount built into it. Of course, the center skid, the new sides to account for the kick in the chassis that bolt to the stock Phoenix pieces. This is the first and only instance that I have experienced in my life with the Zoku, where the Zoku is an LCG conversion. You just take off your stock Vanquish bits and you bolt this on. It just bolts on. Everything else, you're trying to build something, right? And I don't know what Rock Pirates is giving us for $350 to warrant that $350, because, as someone had just said, our good buddy Gary Musey, $140 for the chassis, $80 for the axles, so we're at $220. $25 for the links, so we're at $245. Basically, as he sits right now, everything all in. Oh, and by the way, $50 for a full set of wheels with adjustable offsets. As he sits fully done right now, he's like $500, like $480, I think, because he's got a Fusion SE in him. I don't count radio cost, because you either have a radio and you're just going to put a receiver in it. I can't count radio cost in. Yeah, I'll count wheels, tires, servo, all that stuff. But $350 is inexcusable when that vehicle, chassis, axles, links, all put together is well under $300. You get a slider out of that for under $300. And it's got VRD carbon shocks on it. Not by choice. They're going to get replaced. I'm probably going to put some gold ones on. I'll get some like gold draft techs or gold fakes and put some gold ones on there. Yeah, for $350, you could have a nice Mias rig. Bloody Nora MIP drive shafts, 90 quid a set here. Yeah, they're fantastic, but my God, are they expensive. They're unbelievably expensive. I just ordered an MIP 1.3. 1.3, why? I hate when I have to take that thing out. I hate it. This guy. This guy's got some 1.3s on it. And it had super tiny Phillips for these. So those got replaced like immediately. If I can get rid of a 1.3, I'm going to get rid of it. It can be worse though. The Amazon dig box, there's a set screw on the rotating part that the dig unit locks into to give you 4-wheel drive. The rotating part has a 0.7 millimeter hex in it to tighten it down. Just in case you like that. Your rant about that chassis reminds me of a convo I had with some NSDRC team drivers at the Gauntlet. I asked why I should pay double the cost of a Rhino for a Silent Assassin. Because it's silent, bro. Because it's silent, man. And it costs more, so therefore it's better. Don't you know if it costs twice as much, it's twice as good? You need to get on my level, bro. All Endura brass wheels with tires seem to come S5. Oh, is that like mini stuff? I think I like I say, I don't know nothing about no mini stuff, Miss Scarlett. But I do know that they put a lot of S5 on the mini stuff. That I do know. And okay. I just threw it away this morning. You know I'm a big fan of, look at that glorp. I'm a big fan of using the syringe to apply the grease. It applies it more cleanly. It's a nice. My syringe broke. The little rubber do jabby, whatever you call this guy, the plunger. The plunger popped off. No, this is the plunger. The plunger seal popped off of the plunger, so I couldn't retract it back to make it stop. I guess splooging is the technical term. So it was splooging oil everywhere, like that. Delicious. It was just for like 2 days. I couldn't make it stop. Finally just squeezed all the rest of the grease out of it and then threw it away. I have one of these. I have a chip brush. Yeah, I'm reaching in front. I have a chip brush with the bristles cut down. And it's got some kind of grease on it. Ah! I think it's got the Vanquish blue grease. That's fine. That grease is okay. That grease is okay. We'll just we're gonna grease it up good. I have all this grease to use. Yeah, of course, perfect. Perfect operation. If you want a perfect operation, grease it up with a brush, and then have the grease and the bristles pull off the grease, freshly greased gear, so you have to touch it with your hands. Then make an effort to touch that greased gear with as many fingers as possible. Because just one or two is not going to do it. Sent you a very rough Tusk STL print. Nice. Can you speak to rip saws? I have a set of 1.5 and 2.2 in a box unused. 1.5s. Do they make a 155 rip saw? If they make a 155 rip saw, I've never seen it. And I have yet to got to, oh man. I have not had the pleasure of testing the 2.2 rip saw. Someone sent in a care package of stuff some time back, and it had 2.2 rip saws in that. Unfortunately, it had 3 2.2 rip saws in it. So that's going to make a tricky tire test with the 3 2.2 rip saws. Now, if we're talking about the 4.3 inch tall 1.9 rip saw, great. Love them. I run 2 sets. Zombie runs them, and Ironsides runs them. They are so good on a TRX4. So good. They're like the perfect height to pair with those big tall portals on a TRX4. I'm gonna step on that greasy brush for sure. 33.8 for underdrive, or yeah, 33.8. Yeah, that's so far as I know. For an AR-44, that's the only underdrive ratio you've got. You've got 833, 830, and 827, and 824. You can get big overdrive. You can get the 20% overdrive, but I've never seen 20% underdrive, probably because it won't fit. I don't think you could get an 836 in there. Junkbot can 3-wheel it. Test him out. Hey, now you're thinking with portals. He can 3-wheel it. What am I feel like I'm forgetting something. Another couple paper towels is what I'm forgetting. Yeah, Junkbot is the only deadline casualty that hasn't been fixed yet. And that is because I don't think I have any... there's no hurry to repair him because he's definitely not advancing to the next round. Wow, look at that. That could contribute a little bit of a chirp or a squeak. Look at that wear on there. Very nice. I'm just putting the bearings back in. I didn't put enough. Oh, I saw it. You didn't see it. It was out of frame. One of the shafts had a shim on it, and that shim just fell off. I know where that shim's going. I'll tell you right now, I know exactly where that shim's going. Is anyone who makes 5% overdrive increments in AR-44 style axles? Not to my knowledge. It's all 3-tooth movements, 33, 30, 27, and 24. What is the most capable pure rock crawler in the canyon? Goldie Rocks. I mean, just by the nature of what it is Is what I would have to say for that. I mean, we're talking about a sportsman up against everything else. Yep. Oh, it's actually that one. Okay, so I don't need a pin on that one or a spacer on that one. I just did it again. I'm going to wear most of this grease. Any progress on the bugger? Mine has quickly been one of my favorite. It's so good. It is sitting over there waiting for all it needs is the electronics to be bolted down, and then it can take its first run. But I have a horrific ability to maintain focus. So he hangs on the other side of the wall and definitely suffers from a very out of sight, out of mind thing that's happening. Not his fault. There are so many unfinished builds in here. And while we're building them, and some of them are slowly moving on. I already can't remember where I said it. So I did the count on the crawlers in the canyon. Oh, robot crawlers don't count. It has to look like a truck. Dang, who is the most capable? Honestly, I mean, okay. So you've got sentimentality, or you've got opinions, right? So if I try to get rid of any of that, if I try to ignore feelings, it might be Jake the Snake. Like, Jake the Snake just seems good at everything, and he is a absolute pure one-off. Like, there cannot be another Jake the Snake, because it started off with a plan that was aiming one way and ended up going another way. He ended up where he is purely incidentally. Like not by any design or intention of my own. I mean, I wish I could say it's something that I built from scratch, but the stuff that I've built from scratch, and I built some of it, but the stuff that I've built from scratch tends to be more along the lines of, can we, than just aiming for pure performance. Oh yeah, Argenum's his spot treatment will likely spill over. It's likely going to take more than a day. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it in one day. There's a lot going on here. Clean that pin. And then I gotta find a clip. Would you let go? Let go. Yeah, the machine gears look great. It's if you were one of those fortunate enough to, during your purchase period, have free machine gears, good on you. They are much nicer. I have contemplated changing out to the lightweights in the front on this. It does, you can feel it in the throttle response, but I don't contemplate it for long, because then I'm like, that's more than you pay for a servo. Like, we can definitely allocate that money for something where our return on investment is gonna be higher. That at the same time, I would recommend these gears if you can get them for free or cheap. Having to pay for them, it really stings. Jeff at the cardiologist. Yeah, I think the front gears had propelled much of their grease out, but everybody else seems okay, really. I thought, yeah, there's an identical one right there. I thought this was going to need more I'm glad I got the grit out of it, but I thought we were going to need more work in here. Jeff at the Not Dead Yet. That's all we're working on, man. All we're working on is Not Dead Yet. Good on you. So he's getting one fresh part. At least one fresh part. I thought there was going to be more that needed replacing, to be honest. Yeah. Hashtag Jake. Best cheap gearbox. Antos. I'm going to go Amazon Dig Box. The $30. I'm sure they're all over AliExpress as well. Sometimes they're gold. Sometimes they're black. Sometimes they're silver and red simultaneously. Those things are $30. And they are tough to beat. You do have to completely tear them apart and rebuild them, put them all back together. Sometimes you have to replace bearings. Sometimes you have to shim bearings. But in terms of the amount of versatility that you can get out of a gearbox, that gearbox is really, really difficult to beat. Above that, geez, I would. Here's the real problem. I would consider the Stealth X to be cheap. They cost about $55 to $60. The Stealth X is the quietest gearbox you can buy. You can choose your amount of internal underdrive, whether it be 6%, 11%, 18%, or 25%. The ability to do that inside the gearbox will ultimately save you money. All right? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Because you don't have to change the gears in the axles. Gives you a lot more versatility. Those would be probably my two favorites, followed by the VFD. The VFD is very single purpose, and you kind of have to build a vehicle around it, but man, are they good. The Twin is a great gearbox, even when it clicks. So after a week of job hunting, I've missed all Crawler Canyon videos. How was Proline on the Fire? I had a good time. I would do it more compactly if I were going to do it again, but I definitely had a good time. I was not as miserable as I thought I was going to be. I talked myself into it. Like I say, I've done this so many times. I don't honestly know if these need more. This was the questions that I had about machine gears. Like, what's going on here with the half contact? With the half contact on there. This stuff is sticky. Man, is it sticky. No, let's frame it so you can watch a person grease gears. Over grease gears. I'm trying to keep it out of the slidey bits a little. Not a lot, but a little. Give it a little spinsy. Okay, so where I think we can get away with that shim, right here. We're going to put this little shim right here. We're going to see if we can stop the back of that gear from rubbing on that bearing carrier. That is a 0.1 shim. And we're just hoping that, so first off, we're going to see if it messes up my dig alignment. And we're going to hope that the thing still buttons up. We're talking 0.1 millimeters, right? This is the plastic piece I wish I had one to replace, but I don't. We'll just wait. Hold on. Son of a... I just saw it. Oh no, I'm sad. I'm sad inside. I'm so sad inside. Right under where that shaft is right there is where that screw should be. I looked down at the drill and realized that I hadn't put in the 2 millimeter on there, which means I'm going to have to pull that E-clip off it. Do I? Oh, well, I'm glad that we did, because boy, it would have been loud. I didn't even get that E-clip snapped on. I don't know if this is smart. I'm going to make mistakes. Vanquish is a bit bougie. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I want to see Zombie be risen again. He's so good with hand-me-downs, he could be with some new bits. He got a new bit. Now, what I should be able to do is I don't have to take this all the way off. What I can do is I can slide the pin out. No, you're going to have to take it off. Every time you try to get lazy, it's not going to work. Now, we definitely have to press that gear on correctly. Now I got to get this out again. It would have been clicking now for sure. Because it would have been the front half and the back half of the gearbox would have been slapping off of each other. That would have been great. That's some personal Dunning-Kruger. I know what I'm doing. I don't need to I don't need to look at instructions or pay attention to anything at all. I can just do this. I think that I know what I'm doing. Next thing you know, you're where you are right now. I am where I am right now. Now I can put it back together. That's how long that takes. It's just always, I will never, ever notice it right away. I will only notice it after I've put grease on it. That's how I find out. So as soon as I greased those, I was like, oh my God, you've forgotten something. I was right. But who doesn't love being greasy? If you're not going through 27 paper towels per build sequence, what are you even doing? Just don't click more than you did before. That's all I ask. I don't think that's too much to ask. Just keep the clicking to like the same level. And if it were clicking, when I was out there in the woods, I never noticed it. Oh my God. There was a guy that had a outrunner, Castle fueled outrunner. I kid you not. I am not kidding you. You could hear it from well over 100 feet away. And it's making that much noise and it's not even moving. It's going as slow, like it's got that low speed control, but at what cost? We can recreate it. I'll threaten you. I'll threaten you right now. Okay, what? There's no way that thing, the mic picked that up. But that clip went, it made the sound just like that. So greasy. And I made sure that the lower clip was the one that I hadn't rocketed, just in case the other one was the wrong size. It smells like grease in here. Or I rubbed grease on my face. One or the other. Being lazy is hard work. It is. Fusion 1200 that has developed a dead trigger spot when climbing steep stuff. Let off and it comes back on. I'm going to go IT guy. And I'm going to ask you to recalibrate it. Recalibrate it to the radio. That would be the first thing. We can further diagnose after that. I'll take pride, and I have the aggressive. That makes me not want to do it with my castle. Okay, no, now it's official. Okay, don't make me try to speed up because I'll speed up and I'm not smart enough. Where did it go? Where did it go? Is it still there? It's still there. Never mind. I retract. Okay. Now, screw is in. Screws are ready. Okay. Now I need a big one. Big one? Yeah, big one. Couple 12s. Yeah, we're through the hard part. All right. So a buddy of mine, I've talked about him before, gentleman I know named Mike. He's the sporty guy. He's the guy who has a vehicle. When he saw me build front 9, he built a rig specifically for front 9. And I told him I would cut him out a sticker, Roman numeral 9, if he beat the 9. And he was like, oh, yeah. So he built a full-on sportsman build, a vehicle specifically to tackle front 9. He has another vehicle, which, I mean, based on the text message I just got day before yesterday, I guess belongs to the Canyon now, because he'd been talking earlier this year, probably in the spring of 24, he was talking about getting out of San Bernardino, the scenic San Bernardino, and moving to Utah. And he did it. I got a text message a couple days ago that says, I've moved to Utah. And he referred to that vehicle as Tank. He said, Tank is yours. So Tank lives here now. So Tank, why this is all relevant. Tank is fitted with a castle with an outrunner, and it is screaming loud. So all I have to do is pop a receiver in it, and I can share it with the world. This is all going together quite nicely, I must say. I dare say. Aside from, once we took it apart and put it back together. I like the outrunner scream. It annoys everyone to the point that they make bad line choices. I wanted to physically attack that guy. He was like, I'm not kidding. Like, he had to be over 100 feet away, just screaming. There's no justification. Well, I mean, I guess their justification is they're not doing it on purpose. Someone told him in the Mandalorian fashion that this is the way. Maybe he didn't know there were other options. But I mean, silent outrunners, I guess, are a fairly recent innovation. Like y'all been saddled with noisy ones for a long while. I have this methodology when working with the twin where every time, like, I'll put in 1 or 2 screws and then I'm like, are we still not clicky? Are we still quiet? Like everything still feels good? It is 100% a corrosion of confidence. Like, I'm filled with doubts. I'm just waiting for something to be like click, 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 click. And I don't know why. It all seems fine. We're going to have this back together. And another point to the guy talking about best cheap gearbox. If you want Dig, it's Amazon Dig. Otherwise, it's really the Stealth X. I've tried the OD3, TRX4, everything from Axial. You name it. All of the little knockoffs. Knockoff OD3 is not bad. It's fine. There's the little low profile. I don't even know what you call these. What is this? The Nod? Is this the knockoff of the Nod? You know what? They're fine. But all this thing does for you, as written on the bottom, it weighs 49 grams and it's very compact. But you give up everything else. There's no underdrive in it. There's no overdrive in it. There's no dig in it. I do not like the two-low. I have like 4 rigs now with two-lows on them. And the reason I don't like the two-low is it's just it's so finicky. The things that it fits on and the choices you have to make to get it to fit are really annoying. I like something that bolts, overall, something that bolts with the regular 3-gear, 4-bolt pattern. Don't be too noisy. Provide me some other functionality, whether that be adding overdrive or underdrive. And the reason why I would never say, oh, my favorite gearbox of all time is the VFD, because you've got these fitment limitations. Right in the grease. Right, that screw went right in the grease. There are a lot of chassis that a VFD is not going to fit in. And prior to driving one, as I said, this was my first twin. So I started on the twin and drove my first regular VFD after. And I was like, why would you go through all that work? I mean, you can't get a lower CG gearbox than the twin. I'm stating that as if it's a fact. I don't think it is, but I'm stating it as if it's a fact. I understood it. I didn't understand it on paper. Like, why would you deal with this overly long, complex, convoluted gearbox if it doesn't have dig and variable overdrive in it? And it's because of the CG thing. Outrunners make me wish my tinnitus would match their frequency. Well, yeah. I'll gladly trade performance for silence. Oh, yeah. We've dropped 6,600 frames. We dropped 3% of frames. Red Cat receivers should be Fly Sky. Yes, I think. What's a good ESC for a Holmes Puller Pro, non-Castle or Holmes? That's it. You know what? It's a fantastic question. Spin, spin, spin. There we go. We're almost back together. We've just got to put the flap over the overdrive. Well, these are definitely worn in too. Because when you first get these, it's, well, I mean, I think I would classify it as a genuine pain in the ass to get these things installed because the rubber just keeps folding in on itself. Not such the case after your gearbox has a couple hundred hours on it. I was pretty disappointed with the Ally Capra axles. Very poorly made. Literally had to finish drilling the Yep. What axles were those? One build I just recently did. It was the fake F10Ts. The clone F10Ts. They had a number of tapped holes that were not tapped. They were just drilled. And the worst part is I recklessly assumed that would have been taken care of. So by the time I had to tap the holes, the thing was already assembled. That didn't work super great. If I had just known that I was like, oh, this is a semi DIY axle, and also, I mean, for the cost, we can't fault the cost too much. It does, okay. It does feel smoother. I will say that. So oh man. Oh dang. I tightened it, I over tightened it. We got to get the motor in it. So we got to loosen these. Get this guy in there. Okay. All right. It's a real pain to get out. It'll drop right in. Now I'm self-doubting. Can I get it out? Maybe, but let's don't. I was like, can I get it out without taking it apart? These have got the There we are. once this motor is mounted, I'm going to grab tank. I want to run my 24 at the Canyon because there's some very tricky lines in deadline. Deadline in a 24th scale would take like 10 minutes, wouldn't it? Like that'd be a long course for a 24th scale. A friend of mine wants a crawler to match his gray Jeep XJ. I suggested the Cross RC Cougar XJ. What brushless system? When you say the Cougar XJ, do they have a different one? So are you talking about the Emo or something not like the Emo? Something other than the Emo? The portal box holes are questionable. I will say that once all the units. Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about Wolverine's axles, the Capriclones. There is definitely a spectrum of quality when it comes to clone axles. They run the gamut of the ridiculous and the sublime. So we want non-Castle or Holmes to run a Puller Pro. I'm going to give you an answer that you're not going to like, most likely. See, I hadn't forgotten about the Puller Pro. Because here's the thing. Things like the Fusion exist. And I don't even mean the Pro. I don't mean this expensive thing. I mean the SE. It's going to cost you more to outfit an ESC for that motor than it would to buy something like a Fusion. Or a full outrunner, like a Secure Escape 32, something like that. We're talking the $70 to $80 range. In terms of brushless in-runners, in the entire fleet, I'm running 2 out of 50. There are 50 vehicles in the fleet, and that might be wrong. We might actually be at 51 right now. Because Outrunners and Fusions, they have it down. They have it down. So that and another part of that problem is what's compounding your problem is what we have for in-runner ESCs is not a lot. I mean, I guess you could grab yourself a Hobby Wing 10 BL120, which is surprisingly capable for a speed control that costs about $40, $35-40. But it's never going to get you the same level of fidelity, of just outright smoothness that you'll get out of a Fusion or a cheap Outrunner setup. I don't think in-runners are really super well geared to what we do. That's why I think we don't see nearly as many of them. So my unpopular opinion is get a Fusion or an Outrunner. That's the whole rest of my fleet. I had a Copperhead 10 laying around, so I put on my $50 3500 Pull Pro. Gotta love clearance sales. I've got a 35. I think that's the exact one I have. Yeah. Puller Pro V2 540 3500 kV. Yeah. I have a Mamba to hook that one up to. So that is, yeah, it really does feel, so maybe it needed it. Python X. Yeah, see, well then, okay. Mr. Wirt makes a good, what is that for? It goes right there. Mr. Wirt makes a good call out. FearTech Python will run anything. But my memory is serving, right? Python X is like $110. You can get a gray market Fusion Pro for that. You're well on your way. Enduro Comp Fox kit worth $500. In Europe, You know what? I would probably say yes, because you've got comp fox geometry. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Jake the Snake is a comp fox. He's not, but he is. He's a comp foe. He's not really a comp fox. The biggest problem, here's the problem I have with the comp fox, is it shouldn't have come on portal axles. It should have come on straight axles. And Builder's Kit 3 should have been on portal axles and not straight axles. They mixed it up. My goal with the comp fox would be to put it on straight axles. It doesn't need to be on portals. It needs to be narrower and lower. Anyway, rant averted. But it is not, I mean, it's got excellent shocks. The Element Factory Team shocks are some of the best shocks out there. We know the geometry works. It's got a Stealth X in it. If anything, if there's something that we can hack on or something we can complain about, it's that they certainly did not make an effort to innovate. I had mentioned Tank. Tank has definitely been sitting in Visitor Garage for a little while. I don't even have a fully accurate memory of what all of it. Let's see how undusted he's on the inside. Okay. So yeah, he's been in one spot for a hot minute. Got a Revolver V2 2200 and the good old Mamba X. Oh, there is a receiver in there. It is a Sanwa. Oh, there's the B-Link. There's a B-Link. We just need 2 channels. So somebody can tell me what that chassis is. It's steel. Oh, Python X is 90. That's still pretty good. Oh yeah, that's right. When the Pythons were on sale. Yeah. Somebody said, what body is he in? It looks like an Ascent 18. His body is it's a Kaiju. This is the body from the Red Cat Kaiju. And you know what? You can't say that doesn't fit. So Red Cat definitely has something thematic going. That drawer of electronics smells weird. That Spider has SenseCam. Yeah, it's got the SenseCam purple. The 55, I think is the 55 in the Spider. So whatever chassis this is, which is for TRX4, because this is, wait, maybe it says on the thing. Brazen. So it's a Brazen. Yes, this is, yeah. It is a Red Cat body. And, are those Chronics? Does this thing have Chronics on it? I see the little diamonds. I think those are Chronics. It's very dirty. It's very dirty. So he is a noisy Brazen Scale ATL all-time low. Yeah. I have a 60 kg flash hobby with stripped gears. I'll send it to you if you want to fix yours. I have so far. Oh, so where is he? Where is he? Oh, yeah, right here. The weird smelling drawer. So finally, semi-retired. The OG 50. Let's see if we put a horn on it, we can. Yeah, the pin snapped again. It snapped its third or its fourth pin. It was kind of moving, and then it stopped. So he won. So there's a brand new 60 kg in Wolverine, but all the gears still work. So there you go. So when I say that this thing is noisy, I need you to believe me, because it is also fitted with a Savox Monster Torque. What is that? 2290, which is not quiet. But I have not ordered one yet, but I will definitely be ordering a different ESC for this. Yes, the OG 50 kg is definitely getting retired. So we got crawlers on, feels like Crawler Innovations. So I had forgotten that these were here, and people keep asking about a redux on the crawler, and we can do that. GRC up front. Very, very. Oh, whose radio should we borrow? We'll do the main radio. I have a whole box of batteries. Oh, you know what? There's a sick part of me that is looking forward to this, actually. Oh, I hope the microphone. Come on, microphone, you and me together. We'll turn the noise limiter off. It'll be a blast. That one's too big. Yeah. Savor it. Roll around in it. Savox in the air. Fine. Savox on the ground. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as a wise gentleman once said, baby, we're paraphrasing. You ain't heard nothing yet. I know he said that you ain't seen nothing yet, but oh, we have to do we have to reverse throttle? Make sure it doesn't fly off on us. Oh, steering's reversed too. All right, Castle. I mean, it could be louder, right? The word is mellifluous. All right. Y'all, here you go. Ready? It's just pulse width. You notice the noise gets up to a certain level, and then the noise just sits there. And then you can hear the drivetrain noise take over. So you get this. It can't do it. How can that be a thing? Neil Daniels has got a really weird kink, is what it is. And here's the beauty of it. And they get louder. Like, there are louder ones. This isn't the loudest one. And okay, let me try to use the phrase that pays. The noise isn't the problem. The problem is the low speed control is not there. Look at the herk-a-jerk. Wait, why did you go to sleep? This is just torturous. This is torturous to everyone involved. It's inexcusable. It really is. Because who do we got? Who's here on the bench? Okay, that's unplugged. Good. All right. Now, here's what, like, I don't know, $70. Here's what you can have for $70. If I can find the battery, I'll just use that battery. We'll just dangle it off the side, dangly like. The noise is the problem, and the lack of any control. All right. Okay. All right. I don't know what musical notation is. I don't know how it works. Okay. But I was tinkering with it in the software. I had this guy program. Okay, ready? Okay, so what does $70 get you? All we hear is drivetrain noise. Look at the side of the can. There are plenty of silent outrunner options out there, you know? So whenever I see one with a castle installed in it, I'm like, what are we doing? What are we actually doing? It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. What is that wire? Oh, it's just tied out of the way. Talk about a beautiful symphony, courtesy of the Mamba. The Symphony of the Mamba. Yeah, there's no scenario where I can abide that. Needing to make my 110 GTS shock show. Is there an? I don't think there are, but it will definitely depend on where you got your 110 GTS. If they're takeoffs, I can't tell you exactly what's inside of every. I can't tell you how every model is outfitted. So there might be an internal limiter. None of the ones that I've gotten off of Jenny's have internal limiters, but I'm not gonna chalk that up to be an absolute. There may well be internal limiters in there. Yeah, so we'll go through this thing. This thing needs every bit the spa day. I don't want to get that's real deal patina though. We don't want to get rid of the rust. I want to make minimal changes to this guy, and like I say, I'm pretty sure those are chronics. Because I recognize the little, if there's another shock that has the little diamonds on the shock collars, because the one set that I have over here, it's the same, right? Yeah, pretty sure those are chronics. Go figure. Oh no, the noise is a problem. If Tank is yours, why isn't it in the Crawl Olympics? Because I got a text from him like 48 hours ago, saying that he basically said, well, I finally did it. I moved to Utah. Tank is yours. So Tank just needs cleaned up, electronics mounted, a new speed control. You're not dealing with that thing. And then I guess we have to move him out of visitor garage. I don't know where we're going to put him, but we'll put him somewhere. Or he can stay right there. Problem is, I built a whole garage, right? I built garage 5. I guess it would be 5. Garage 5's already full. Garage 5's already full. I gave away 2 vehicles in back-to-back weeks because I was just straight up running out of room. And I'm probably going to have to do it again. Not give away vehicles. What we're going to have to do is my Copperhead and Polar Pro are pre-runner. Slow isn't a concern, so it works. Yeah, absolutely. Anything that... Oh, I'm not denigrating Castle. Most of the Go Fast, everything I have that's Go Fast is either Castle or Hobby Wing. And all of the older stuff are all Castle. Mamba Maxes, couple Mambas. My 6S Centon is on a Mamba. It's fantastic. I'd recommend it to anyone. But for rock crawling, Castle still doesn't make any rock crawling products. Yeah, a lot of good bits on that rig. Yeah, there really are. I realized after I carried it over and set it down, he asked if he could see Tank. So we'll just... I want to blow him off with air, but at the same time, I don't want the compressor to kick on and do its chatter routine. So we'll just leave his dustiness right over there. Well, okay. It's kind of getting to me. Yeah, that's slightly better. Build Garage 6, this guy says. Garage 5 is actually a double decker. It holds 15. It's full. And the fullness isn't directly because of the number of canyon rigs. It's because I'm a lazy sack of crap. There are rigs here that at some point I feel like it's going to start grinding down on me, that I'm like being an insufferable jerkbag and not finishing builds. There are builds and rigs that have been here for a year. I got to do what the... Okay. We all saw that, right? That just like... Okay, let's go to here for a minute. Hey, that's... You know what? That's a good look. That's a good look right there. I need to start finishing. I need to start finishing some rigs because my buddy was over here and I walked around the building and did a count. And the Canyon fleet is now 50. And in terms of total rock crawlers, which include all visitor vehicles, which include the 2 optics that are here, which include pretty much everything that's here, there are 69 crawlers here. But since that count, I've built another one. So there's 70. Team Revolt is... Yes, okay. recommendation, I listened to the audiobook of 1984 over the last week. Nice. What was your takeaway, Mr. Cross? Do you feel as if you're living in it? Oh, Erwin's asking. Yeah, that's Argenum. This is Argenum's front axle right here. Argenum did a lot of hours at Proline. He is gross. And he's definitely getting up there into hours of service where I should be doing this anyway. How many builds do you have lined up? Oh my goodness. Let me think. I just started on, it came from the workbench, 46. I have lined up 47, 48, 49, 50. Yeah, not counting the other builds that are already here. Yeah, I mean, you know what I need? As JDA79 said, I need garage 6. I need place for 8 more rigs. The twins have never gotten to move off of the end of the bench. You can see Tomax over there. They've been there the whole time. I don't have anywhere to put them. And I would love to have enough room to have all of the test rigs together. I don't think that's realistic. Wolverine has also never had a parking space of his own. This front housing's not too bad. What is I came from the workbench 50 going to be? I don't know. I know what 47 is going to be, and I know what 48 is going to be. Because someone has been sending in parts and said that their favorite number, lucky number, one of those is 48. So that one is already slotted in for 48. I love that it has his axle has black oxide on top and stainless on the bottom. Implying that when I was assembling this the last time, I either lost 2 of the screws or I was swapping over to stainless and gave up halfway. Either one is equally likely. That looks absolutely fine. That looks absolutely fine. Those machine gears are as smooth as the day they were born. And there's a decent amount of grease up in the teeths, but we went through all the trouble to take it apart, right? Might as well glob it up. I think because I killed my syringes, I might have to switch to some sort of receptacle with the brush. I don't know what. I'll figure it out. I'm just going to keep using this. This is a sauce cup from Oh No Hawaiian Barbecue. I'm not saying that I took a whole stack of them and put them in my hoodie pocket, but that might have been what happened. Yeah. Mr. Cross is right on. The story is relatively short and straightforward. What is the oldest unfinished build? I think it's the FRD. I think. I'm pretty sure. That's what I'm going with. I think the FRD is the oldest one. It's one of those, basically, if it's hanging on a peg in Visitor Garage, I need to finish it. I really do. I may have to get deluxe wheels for my Venus build. Ooh. Ooh. I don't know what these wheels are, but I have to assume, just by the way he bought things, that they're probably fancy. Let's pull a portal box apart and see what it looks like in there. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Yeah, and I've already resigned myself to the fact that he's not getting all the way put back together because there's too much stuff that still needs correction. I have to shorten all those wires. I do not need to pull these portal boxes apart. That is full, just absolutely chock full of grease in there. Because I recall when my buddy, when we built Zorana, he bought 2 sets of the knuckles thinking that the covers were the same front and rear. And I was like, no, front covers are front covers and rear covers are rear covers. So he bought 2 sets of the aluminum. And I was like, are you going to return them? And he goes, hell no. So here they are. So when they got rebuilt, they got really super greased. What did you miss? Hideous electronic noises that were not music. That is not wrong. That is not wrong. Pretty typical amounts of wear on all of these moving bits. So smooth. Oh my God. That doesn't make a sound. That's crazy. It's like I muted the mic. They make a fine part, man. I will tell you what. So I wanna install more lights. 4 more lights, I think, on him. This thing over here, the guy who is over there in frame, I'll do a full go through. We'll see what the inside of the gearbox looks like. I'll do the usual stuff. When a rig shows up, you treat it like a used car, and you do the going through. Pretty dusty. I expected Argentum to exhibit a bit more wear than he had. Everything is superficial. I did see a couple rod ends in the rear that looked like they were getting a little looser. Once I put so much grease in my SCX-24 that the motor would overheat in a minute. That's nice. I used to think that I overgreased. I've seen something to make me see the light. The temper right behind me. That thing was greased. Oh, you son of a bitch. It's hot outside, I can tell, because it's starting to get hot in here. But it's coffee drink and Cane's Chicken Fridays. Man, I mean, you're all here with me, and that is fantastic. There is my Friday. I feel like I'm cheating. I feel like I won. I feel like I'm playing a game and I'm cheating. I get to do a live stream. I get to talk to you lovely people. I get to play with toy cars uninterrupted for 3.5 hours in the afternoon. And in the 168 hours of a week, this 3.5 hours is the only time I don't get interrupted. If I can work on something for 25 minutes on an average day and not have somebody harass me about something, it's atypical. Atypical. So and then I am going to get a coffee drink, and I have a choice. I think we've stopped dropping frames, so she might be off work. I get my choice of coffee drinks today. I get Cane's chicken fingers for dinner. Man, you want to talk about living your best life? Fridays for me are the cat's pajamas, the bee's knees. Without trying to sound like a pretentious git, I really resonated with the way Winston saw and understood the world around him. Yeah. And realized that, well, I mean, maybe not so much the part about the realization that you can't change it, because I think where hope lives in people is Well, if 1984 is to be believed, is either having that hope or just giving up and being like, it is what it is, right? For me, when I've definitely told this story before, I can feel myself echoing. I was assigned to read 1984 when I was a sophomore in high school. I didn't attend second grade. They power shifted me first to third. And so when I was a sophomore in high school, I was 15. I graduated right after turning 17, so I started my senior year at 16. So now I would have been 14 in sophomore year. So I'm 14 years old. And I read 1984, and it was the most boring, thing I'd ever read in my whole life. And then I'd had kids, and they were both about, let's say they were around 5 and 7. We used to go to the local library once a week, and we would check out books. And I checked out 1984, and I reread 1984, and it was like getting hit with a hammer. Like, it was unbelievable. Like, I was like, oh my God, someone's writing my biography. Yeah. So it's a book that is there for you in a place. You have to have either gotten to that place or gone past that place. I'm only touching dirty things today. So yeah, 1984. And the first one for me, the one that really hit me. Oh, come on, wait. Okay. The one that really got me was Douglas Copeland's Generation X. If you are or fancy yourself Generation X, not just that born between, what do they say it is, 67, 77? Is that Gen X? Not just in between those years, but if you consider yourself to have the mindset, the experiences, we all have those we're sharing these traumas together. If you're also sharing those traumas, you read Douglas Copeland's Generation X, and I think I've read that book 3 times now. It just, man. It's a little bit about nothing, but my goodness. It is kind of a summary of a disenfranchised generation of which I and many of us are a part. And it could sound better. Oh, because I would not have taken the rear axles apart to, I didn't have to change those housings. So it'll be interesting to see what the inside of this looks like. Yeah, I was definitely changing them to stainless and didn't just change the top set. That's a thing that I would do. I feel like his kind of emotionless, logical way of thinking and seeing the world is a lot like me. I think sometimes I look at things too logically as well. I mean, that's a weird thing to self-diagnose, but we get these. Just put the tip of that driver right into the side of my finger. We get these moments in life where you don't know they're coming, and all of a sudden it happens, and you are changed. Reading 1984 again at like the age of, I don't know, 37, 38. Reading Douglas Copeland's Generation X when I was in college, and I wasn't a straight to college guy. I graduated college at the age of 28 because I found out that you can work a mindless job and make a lot of money. And then you're like, what do I need an education for? And went back to college. Did my 4 years of college over the span of like 9 years. So read Gen X in college and was like, whoa. Then, later on in life, it comes from more surprising places. Like the glass tile backsplash, man. Just like, I at one point, I just stood up and said, perfection is unattainable, and just went on with it. And then there's like these like the ubiquitous, as Strong Bad would say about, I think I heard a techno song one time. With that like ubiquitous line from an old movie, like "The system is down." There's a line in one of the dubstep songs that comes up on my channels a lot, and it's like basically anxiety is basically your brain's just your brain burning calories is all anxiety is, because worrying doesn't do anything. It doesn't change anything. Doesn't matter how much you worry about something, the outcome is not going to change. You have to go out there and actively try to change it. And if you don't, then you're leaving it in the hands of the universe, and whatever happens, happens. And I was like, damn, it's pretty insightful for a ubiquitous, CGI voice in a song, in a throwaway song. No, this was blue. The back one is a lot cleaner. Let's see, is there any takeoff? No. That's pretty clean. I think I have a more boring book than you. It's called Motors Truck Repair Manual 20th Edition. It's a repair manuals for all trucks and tractors between 1961 and 1967. Well, no, here's the thing. You could be in a specific situation where the Motors Truck Repair Manual might be the most important book you've ever read. Because I grew up in an era where I was not the guy in high school with a VW. I was not a guy in high school with an old Chevy pickup. I never learned to do points. I never learned the firing order of a this or that or a what have you. My first car was a 1989 Ford Festiva, which was built by Kia. So I drove a Kia Festiva, which was basically a K car that had been imported over. It was a naturally aspirated, carbureted 1.3 liter four-cylinder engine producing 58 horsepower. It had a 4-speed manual gearbox. It had 12-inch tires. It weighed like 1,800 pounds, something like that, 1,800 pounds. So I don't know if it goes so far as FOMO. What do you call fear of having missed out for homo? Nope, that doesn't sound right. I don't know if I have a feeling of fear of having missed out, because I didn't know that there was anything to miss out on. But I grew up with all those dudes. We had the dude with a Chevy pickup. We had the dude with a squareback. We had the VW dude. We had all the dudes, all the types of dudes. We had them. Now owner's manuals tell you not to drink the battery fluid. It's a joke and it's funny, but it's not a joke because it's not funny, because it's true. Don't drink the juice in the battery. It might look delicious, but it's not. It's extra spicy. Yeah, that's where we are. The Festiva was a Mazda 121. Old enough to know how to set points, young enough to wonder why anyone would bother. Yeah. I don't miss carburation, that's for sure. So am I recalling my history correctly that at that time, so Ford and Mazda had that thing at the time, kind of like a Diamond Star Motors situation, but between Ford and Mazda, where a lot of Fords, particularly in the small passenger, were all just rebadged Mazdas. But the door tag on the inside of the door definitely said built by the Kia Motors Corporation in wherever, Korea. So I don't know what the length, breadth, or depth of those relationships were between manufacturers at the time. But Kia, Ford, and Mazda were all doing a little dance. Ain't got no gas in it line doesn't work that well anymore. I have been, I am as someone had said much earlier, it takes a lot of energy to be lazy. I have in my life. So I started driving in 1989, bought that Festiva from the local dealership on the fleet program. It had 3,300 miles on it. My Scion, my Scion that I got in 2005 when I was 33 years old was the first new car I ever had. I forgot where I was going on the Festiva. Brain just shifting gears too fast. Oh, yes. I don't know if I'm a loyalist or I'm lazy or I'm cheap. I don't know how you want to diagnose it, but I had a 1989 Ford Festiva. I got rear-ended so violently driving home from going out to eat with my wife that it shot me forward into the back of the car in front of me, and I had about half a car length between the car in front of me and myself. So it shortened that Festiva's wheelbase by about 5 inches. So that would have been 1993. So that's how long that lasted. I got a Mitsubishi. Jeez. Man. What was it? It was not performance. It had a 1.5 or 1.5, 1.6 liter, something like that, something small. That lasted about 6 years. Got about 6 years out of the Mitsubishi. Got rear-ended in that one. I picked up a note on a Honda Del Sol, a 1995 Honda Del Sol SI, and I got to drive that for about 3 years. Got rear-ended, totaled. Got a 2005 Scion TC. It's still parked in the carport. It turns 20 years old next March. On 3/11, on March 11th, it will turn 20 years old. And then I've got my Subaru. Those are all the cars I've owned in my life. I've owned 5 cars? I've had 5 cars. I've been driving since 1989. So 35 years of driving, I'd have 5 cars. And I'm the same way with computers. I'm the same way with phones. You name it. Like if that's an iPhone 8. That's an iPhone 8 Plus. This is a camera. I do buy a lot of cameras, though. I got a thing for cameras. Not really. Prior to the YouTube, I went from a Pentax K1000 to a Sony Alpha. I think it's an A100 full DSLR. It's like 10 megapixels. And the next camera I bought after that was this one. So I use cameras for like 20. Yeah. Not the Lancer. The cheap cheap Lancer. Damn it. I can't it's honestly making me laugh a little bit that I can't remember what it was called. Like the Lancer is the fancy, like what they made the Evo out of, or was it the Lancer but not the Evo? I can't remember. It'll come to me in the middle of the night. Which Scion did you have? I have a TC. Not a Galant. Mirage! Bow! There it is. Mitsubishi Mirage. It was like a, basically, well, let me try this. This one. It was basically that color green. It was that color green. But imagine on a whole car. That's a lot. It was that color green. Man, we drove everywhere in that car. And it was still going. And it was still going great. Oh, man. And my Mirage, I was So I got my Mirage and I was 22, 23. We did very 22, 23-year-old stuff to that Mirage. I had a giant Mitsubishi logo. I had a vinyl guy at the time. I had a giant Mitsubishi logo cut for the hood and said Mitsubishi Motors on it. And I put Hella 500s on it. So we put 2 Hella 500s in the front bumper, you know, like a rally car. And then we put 2 Hella 500s on top of the front bumper. And they were on switches on the dash and you could turn them on and absolutely just turn the retinas of anyone in front of you just into dust. Oh, those were the days. Those were the days. As I get older, man, I agree with my neighbor so much. Growing up, funny, again, this is left here by Mike. We had a neighbor named Mike that was probably in his mid to late 40s when we were punk-ass kids harassing him. And God, he hated us. He hated the neighborhood kids so much. And now that I guarantee, older than Mike was then, oh, I get it. I get it. The neighborhood kids, somebody should do something about those hooligans. Yeah. He hated us. And in retrospect, yeah, I get it. I get it. We earned and deserved all of that hate. I would have hated us too. Yeah, so all of my cars get taken away from me, out from under me. I have a temptation to throw some shine. Look at that. Look at that. But I mean, you know, it's the character. Keep the character. Did I mention I was 21 when I got my 5th car? I hope that Subaru lives until I die. I really do. Oh my God. Oh my God. I had to pull up a chair. Okay. We were ranting a moment ago about the Rum Runner. We didn't even talk about the Iguana, where if you fully spec it out, the thing's like $1,300. The boutique crawler market has lost its mind. All right. Do you know what else has lost its mind? Informal poll for the people of the chat. How much does an oil change? How much does a dealership oil change cost on a Subaru? Just throw a number in the chat, and after you throw in a number, riddle me. How much does the scheduled 30,000 mile maintenance, the scheduled factory maintenance on said Subaru cost? Because I had a number in my head, and I thought that number was going to be reasonable. And that number was not reasonable. That number was not reasonable. So, when I was out at Proline by the Fire, this is the pin that holds the body on. I always make a nice steel one with a little end on it, right? Because that's the kind of thing that I do. I had tried to loan Zoku a body clip to pin his front end back together so he wouldn't have to carry his rig, and it stretched the body clip out a little. I put it back in. So while I was wheeling on night 2, it fell out. The clip fell out, and then the pin fell out, and I had to cram 2 pieces of stick. They're right here. Those 2 little pieces of stick are what I use to hold my body on for about 3 hours. I have to make another one of those. Do you want to know what my 24 channel was? Okay. Oil change $199, maintenance $1,200, 30K $2,400, $449 for 30K service. Service is $3,000. I'm guessing the dealership oil change would be at least $400. All right. So, I mean, you're making me feel somewhat better. All right. An oil change was $100, and I was ready for the $100 oil change because I think that thing takes, I want to say it takes 6 quarts, and this is California. So if you drive down to the local wherever and buy Mobil 1 synthetic, it's going to be like $10 a quart. So that's like $60 worth of oil. So you're basically paying somebody $40 to put it on a lift and change the oil for you. I'm fine with that. I don't need to do that. I don't want to climb under cars anymore. I'd rather, working on these is a lot easier. He's missing a drive shaft pin. The 30,000 mile service on the Subaru is $1,000. And when he told me that, I just stared off into space as if I had been abducted by aliens and could not come to grips with the situation that I was living in. Oh, no, they changed the oil filter too. So, yeah. So, oil and filter is going to be like 70. So, they charge you $30 to do the oil change. That's fine. That's fine. If you want, I'll buy the stuff. If you want to come to my house and do my oil change for $30, we'll do it. But I definitely feel like my days of crawling under cars are behind me. And I came to this realization when a buddy of mine brought his Challenger over for me to do some work on it for him. We were changing the shocks. Oh, that's a VFD one. This is a twin one. I was wondering why I had an extra one. Okay, there's one. I don't think it's Argenums, but there is one. Or maybe it is. No. Argenums are stuck in the fenders somewhere. 10,000 mile was $800? Oh. Some of the big trucks take 100. No, thank you. Nope. Not in California. Let me put it this way. If you live in California, you never want to have to buy 100 gallons of anything. Because it will bankrupt you. I just need to find one more of those little assembled light guys. I thought it would have had a lens in it. Don't they? Do they usually have lenses in them? 100,000 on a Hyundai, including a belt change, was $1,700. Okay, so what it is my umbrage is entirely because I have done all of my own service and scheduled maintenance on every car I've ever owned. Like, I've never, my TC, which turns 20 years old in March, has never been to a shop, has never been up on a lift, has never gone to a dealership, nothing, ever. So, yeah. So my inability to accept is simply because I didn't know. I guess this is just normal. Okay, I'm finding lots of the pods, but we'll just make a pile. Here, hold those. Okay, so here's the real question. Why do I have so many of these? How many? Oh, hold on. Oh, they even have the retainers on them. Nice. I think I have red LEDs. We need red LEDs, of course. I'm so chuffed. I am positively chuffed. I almost threw his motor mount away. Oh, look at this. So what are the little round ones if these are all one piece? Rummaging through the box reminds me of being my kid years trying to find that last Lego. Yeah. God, I miss when my kids played with Legos. I really do. There was yeah, man. Children. Tell you what. Oh, there's a shiny new bumper. We're going to save that one for later. We're going to save that one for when we need it. I knew that if I hemmed and hawed and didn't move quickly, I knew that I could avoid finishing this thing. So the only decisions I have to make, I mean, the wiring is going to get cleaned up. We're gonna until you step on. I have really tough feet. Stepping on Legos isn't that bad. I stepped on a rock, barefooted, of course, outside, just like a rock, like, you know, about that big. And I came down on it so perfectly in the instep that I had a purple bruise on the bottom of my foot, like that big. Like I put whole weight, a full step on it. RCs are just more expensive Legos that you can break and spend even more on them. I don't even know if they're more expensive. I think Legos might have us beat. I mean, look at what some of those crazy, like the Millennium Falcon. There are Lego sets that are $1,000. That's crazy. There are a number of Lego sets that cost more than buying an RTR crawler. That's crazy. What a time to be alive. Oh, Barry Rhodes has got rocks to move. I could dig it, man. I could dig it. I wouldn't be moving rocks right now. It's hot outside. They teased us with an inkling of autumn, and then they snatched it away. Oh, I missed some pieces. That's fine. I don't have to rebuild shocks. That's the best. Okay, these wheels say method on them, on the spoke, which leads me to believe they're probably Vanquish. They look like Vanquish. I don't know. I've never bought Vanquish wheels, so I can't say for sure. Well, yeah, that's true. Millennium Falcon was 800. Yeah. You could, and once you get into this, was it the Swedish guy? Was it the Norwegian guy? Somebody in the Discord was posting up pictures of Legos, and said that they've bought something like 1,000 sets of Legos in their total time. That's wild. That is wild. And I have like a little Lego town up above some cabinets in my kitchen. I think I might even cut the shrink on this. I already wired it once. I think I might rewire all of this. It's just so much wire. Now, am I going to go so far as to cut the length down on the servo wires? No. Honestly, he doesn't need to be up again for another couple weeks. Okay, why isn't there more Element stuff on Amazon? That's what I want to know. I just need a big receiver box. And the big Element Square one. Okay, here's the listing on Amazon. Let me guess. 2 weeks to get it. October 3rd through 7th. That's a week. Who's it selling by? RC Express. I need a receiver box that is going to fit. Oh, you know what? Let me tell you something. For a few minutes there, for a hot minute, I forgot that this is a Phoenix. And that we can put the body on with nothing else attached. There's the electronic switch. I'm afraid to unplug anything because I don't remember what goes to what channel. When does tanks... Oh, it came from the one... I have no idea. I have to get a... Don't you have a 3D printer? I do. But I don't know how to make the box. That's the thing. The TRX4 ones are good. I think it's the Rustler one. The one that has the little wire access from the side. I think that's the one that I prefer. I just put one on something and I already can't remember what it is. I want to put something right here that I can store as much stuff in as possible so I can get all the wires out of the way and all the light wires hidden, because if I can hide them, that means there's less I have to cut. I prefer to cut less. I have to make a new pin, as my pin is out in the desert somewhere. And I'm going to figure out how to make a pin that is toolless, but also clipless. That's the goal. So yeah, it looks like there's a decent amount of room. Yeah, there's plenty of room under there. Just eyeballing it. There's plenty of room up under there. Yeah, the rock lights worked a treat. All the lights worked great. But I can't, like, it's embarrassing, man. I don't even like to take the body off because this is just the lights for the rock lights. Oh, and the way he was set up, the switch doesn't turn the rock lights off. I have a bunch of, I bought a bunch of adapters now so that I can, like multi-taps, so that I can get all of the lights controllable from a switch. All my screws are coming loose, so all the lights are flopping around. Yeah, there's a lot to be addressed on this guy. At least the axles and the gearbox were really easy, and his underneath is not that bad. This is one of those, it's a fleeting moment where I do wish that I had, nope, that's not who I want. Yeah, there we go. I wish I had the ability to be the 3D print guy and just make this bracket, which is the bracket that holds the servo, make this bracket, but then have this tray also just have a receiver box built into it. It doesn't even need a lid. It just needs sides and a back. So I'm gonna just be an absolute idiot and like I could try to learn a new language, or I can just remake that piece and then with sides on it. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna do that. I gotta do something about these wires. It is untoward. I'll probably pull all the wire out of the way, get the gearbox reinstalled. I wonder if I can get the gearbox reinstalled. I can probably get the gear. Just debate over it for a while. Oh, Bonita Creek is heading out. Are we getting? Oh yeah, we're getting there. We're getting up there. 75, 30, 73, 75 drop frames. That's kind of a lot. Let's see if we can't get the gearbox in. I think it's easier to do. The easiest way to do it, I think, is to line up the front. Now I'm starting to forget what camera I'm on. Yeah, Mr. Spain should check out the Discord. Well, I mean, Instagram works equally well. It's a little more instantaneous on the Discord. I try to be pretty routine in checking it. Sometimes I'll forget for an entire day that it exists. Like, it didn't exist for so long. But now I have to keep trying to tell myself, don't forget to check the Discord, and then I do. What does dropped frames mean? Okay, we are broadcasting at 30 frames per second. So by this point in the broadcast, we have broadcast 358,872 frames as of the moment I said that, and every second 30 more frames go by. We've dropped 7,375 of those frames, which is 2.1%. And all I can figure is it's because of dueling networks. The wife is doing work inside on her work computer, or was, because we've basically stopped dropping at this point, and we're duking it out. We're whoever's really closest is getting more access to more frames. So there have been weeks where we've dropped no frames. And this time we've dropped almost 7,500, which is a lot, but, you know, it's 2%. And that number keeps dropping. It stays in red if it's above 1%. It's just a thing that, like, you know, I call it baseball fan stuff. I think all baseball fans at some level are obsessed with minutia, where we look at, like, every year there's some new stat category to follow. And, I mean, I probably look at my analytics on my channel dashboard like 10 minutes a day. Just looking at the numbers, seeing how the patterns go up and down, trying to figure out how things work. Like, you get less views, but your CPM, the money you make per view, goes up. I don't know. There's a lot of variables, and I feel like anytime YouTube is involved, there's a lot of unknowables. Yeah, just once again, I only got Discord because of Crawler Canyon and found out I can use it on PS5 to not get chat banned on Call of Duty. Yeah, a lot of, especially when you see streamers, they're even if they're streaming all in a game together, they're pretty much all using Discord, because then they make a voice channel, and then the editors can collect all of the audio. Yeah, I play other games. I play PS5 games and mobile games and all a bunch of other crap, other time-wasting diversions. Need more unboxing and that title in the vid. And I just I don't know. I don't know if I can't be bothered. I don't know. I love the Discord here because the reason I stopped going to forums and completely was because there was always somebody that just knew everything. No matter what you were doing, it's like go to Reddit. No matter where you go or what you do, some dude on Reddit knows more than you. Ooh. Did not intend for that to be poetry. John Lau, this is a Zoku. Zoku for Phoenix. This is, I asked him when we were by the fire, I said, what number chassis do you think this is? And he said 2. This is Zoku Phoenix chassis number 2. So I was like, that's kind of cool. Picking up a PS5 so I can try Helldivers. Maybe, hey, you got to hit me up and try to get me back onto Helldivers. Speaking of which, he asked about the, speaking of which, I've seen so many videos that make Space Marine, the Warhammer game, look amazing. And more proof of my age, I looked up Space Marine 2. The cheapest version you can buy is $70. The most expensive version you can buy is $110. When did video games start costing $110? If you have the machines to cut aluminum chassis rails, I'd be happy to purchase a few. I've made a lot of chassis. There's probably 10 chassis in the fleet, maybe more, 12? I don't know. How many? Run it down with me. I built Rattler's chassis. I built Tranquish, Jake, Ratchet, Vanimal, Zoidberg, more. I can't. Don't get into the minis if you like your money. Mr. Spain, I'm so stupid today. Can't write a sentence without messing up a word. That's me on Discord. There's no spell check on it. I feel like I'm just misspelling everything. And it's not because I don't know how to spell. It's ham fingering. No, I fully intend to test these. I have plans, and then I go out and like string lights or do something else. Oh, I'm building a trail course, inspired by going to Proline. I bought the stuff with it. I bought flags. I bought little numbered little markers. I'm gonna build a sweet trail course that starts at Sultan's Curse and wraps all the way around and comes out over by Oblivion. Like, it'll be cool. It'll be cool. It's gonna have little flags. It's gonna have little markers. I bought pens that you can use to write on stuff to use outdoors. Oh, how much? Just like the Enjora for the TRX4? It would cost more than just buying the Enjora for the TRX4. I don't do that anymore. People have sent in rigs, and I've built chassis for them. It came from the Workbench 48. It's going to have a custom chassis for it. And the way I tend to do things is in the bespoke fashion. I build one-offs because I did production maker stuff for 15 years. And that part of me, I don't think that part of me exists anymore. What is the group name on Discord? What is the group name on Discord? Oh my God. Oh, that's this number two belly laugh of the day. People angry at Crawler Canyon, Illinois, because I say bad things, and if the fingers used to dial are too fat, mash the keypad to receive a special dialing wand. Yes, I remember this. How's the big pond going? Just waiting on the weather. It got nice for 5 days, and then it got unnice. And let's see. And it's going to get worse. Was it 3? Is 3 the best? 2 is the best. Yeah. Yeah, no, thank you. Overnight low of 71 is what we're looking at in the next couple days. I didn't mean to make you sad, Crawler Life. I tried. We had a hardline chassis, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, one of those, when people kept saying, I want one of those, I want one of those. And I said, the only way for this to be profitable, for me to design it and have it cut, is to sell 50 of them. And I wasn't even selling them for a lot. And 7 people paid for a chassis. 7. So there's, I don't speak in freedom units. Is that too cold or too hot? Mr. Spain, does 100 sound hot? Does 100? If it was 100 Celsius, you'd be dead. So would you assume that 100 Fahrenheit is hot? Because it is. It's very hot. No, thank you. No hurricanes. We already talked about that. Yeah, he will. Mr. Truitt will indeed have to slow his K5 down. His K5 will like pull wheelies. Yeah, the trail course will slow it down. And I was really inspired by the Reckless RC course out at Proline, because it was like just difficult enough. Like, it was fun, but it was just difficult enough. And that is my goal with my course, which I already know pretty much where the layout is going to go. I need to refine some of the obstacles and mark it out and put stakes down and do all that sort of stuff. And we'll see how well that stuff handles the weather. It'd be a lot cooler if you did. Yeah. So when people send stuff in, it's not out of the question that in a build I will make a chassis for it, because I'm going to make one. And to me, that's kind of what's special about it, because that person then knows that the chassis that they have is it. It's the only one. Now here's what I have to figure out. So these are where the screws. So that's why. How about back to this one? So these are where these mount. But I fabricated this piece because when the bumper is installed, that is where my recovery line goes to, like that. So I'm in that neat little thing. Now, what am I gonna do? Because I want it all, and I want it now. I want to reinstall these, just like that, just like that. But I also want to keep my my bar for the bungee. I don't know. I'll think on it. Oh, and I saw it going by. Got back to Texas on Monday. I could have sworn that I heard someone say vehemently that they were done and they were not going back to Texas. I'm airing dirty laundry right now. There's like 100 of you in here, and I'm airing the dirty laundry here. He swore he was not going back to Texas. I mean, I guess he did skip a week. He said he wasn't going back to Texas on Monday, but he is going back to Texas on a Monday. Oh, they got him back again. Secondhand stores for accessories to put around the trail course, like mini homes and gnomes. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I got a lighthouse. There's a lighthouse out there. That's something. That's a start. So I have genuinely the amount of work that I did on this, the work that needed to be done, cleaning and rebuilding that gearbox. It's so smooth now. It is crazy smooth. Going through and re-greasing the axles, that's the easy stuff. The wiring part is probably going to take like an hour and a half. I'm not even kidding. Oh, they did the "we have ways of making you talk" thing. Oh, somebody got coerced. Somebody got coerced. I just keep bolting pieces on when what I should be doing is packing it up. Packing it up. So yeah, if there's anything that I have both too much of and not enough of, it's projects to work on. So don't think, if you are one of those people who is like, I want to send something in and have something built by the idiot in a shed. Hey, this, in a video that you're going to watch in the next couple days, this will come back. This will make sense to you later. Not now. An item from my past and your present will make sense in your future. Yeah, the Midwest goodbye is in full effect, because I could just keep tinkering. But here's why I don't. If I drink the coffee drink like 30 minutes too late, I won't be able to sleep. I saw a YouTube short where a guy was saying that nobody can operate unimpaired on 6 hours of sleep a night. And I was like, my friend, by that measure, I have been impaired for over 20 years. 6 hours of sleep. When you were talking about making sure, you forgot to mention Ghost Rover. Oh, yeah. Let's not forget Ghost Rover. Oh, I would say, I think my favorite, that's the one that had the spacer on it. I think the chassis that I'm most proud of is Blue Sky High. It's gone through the most iterations, sure. I've had to remake it so many times. But the final version that's on him now is the one that I'm the most proud of. Because it, to me, is the one that seems like it could fool you. Where you'd be like, oh, where did you buy that? I didn't. An idiot in the shed made it. 4 hours a night. Dang. Yeah, 6 hours? I'm lucky to get 6 hours. I'll sneeze myself awake at 4:30 in the morning because I forgot to take an allergy pill before I went to sleep. And I think I'm allergic to cats, but we have 4 of them. So, like, what are you going to do? So, yeah, I mean, God, I wish I could sleep. I need to sleep 8 hours and have enough energy for the day. Well, that's because you're a youth and you're still, like, growing and stuff. We're mostly dying. It's all downhill after 25, and you're still a long ways away from 25. So, I don't even remember 25. 8 hours of sleep. I don't think I could sleep 8 hours straight on purpose. Show us a cat on the next live stream. Yeah, okay. Next week, I'll have a kid bring a cat out here. It'll probably be Tiny Lion. And you'll think you're seeing the ghost of Jeej. But Tiny Lion is the most mellowest. So we'll see. We've got 2 of them that are real freaky weirdos. Just weirdo cats. We got a couple of weirdos. So, oh, what was the, wait, okay. I can show you a photo of one because it's a photo that brings me joy. It brings me immeasurable joy. So, one of my favorite cats is named Big Bub. The Bubs. Bubs was eating the wife's chair while she was trying to work. There's the Bub. Big Bub. Big Bub is big. Big Bub is my favorite one. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to remember to tell the kid that they're doing a good job, and I think they really are doing a good job. As I said, I definitely mentioned it in this Wednesday's episode. This upcoming Wednesday, I only have to bring 2 cameras. I put a camera at start finish, which is basically just to sync all the sound and everything together, and then the kid films the whole thing. It's great. We're out there for 30 minutes. Boom, bam, done. It's so good. It takes, and then the edit takes half the time of a regular Wednesday. If I can get this kid to film just 30 minutes a week, man, if I can get this kid to film at Green Line, why am I on this camera? My whole life will be simplified because I might be able to bump up to more rigs a week. Erwin is correct. Tell the kitty is Deadline's MVP. Yeah, 100%. Does the kid think your commentary is weird, especially when you're telling the rig not to do something? No, the kid is a perfect camera person, camera toter. They don't say nothing. When they step on rocks and stuff, you can't even tell because they don't even try to fall down. How does the kid feel about 3D design? Oh, I wish. I have 2 of them. I got a big one. I call them the big one and the small one. The small one is my camera toter. If I could get the big one to do anything back end, 3D, anything at all, my God, what a load it would take off of me. And their mother is after them. She's like, you need to do this. You need to do this. This is job experience. You don't even understand? He's legit. People talk to him on the internet. They send him stuff. He sends them stuff. He's got a YouTube channel. People know him. Like, if you put Crawler Canyon as, like, on your resume, that's a thing. They can go look it up on YouTube. 1,000 videos from an idiot. They don't know it's just one idiot. They just see Crawler Canyon. People don't know. And I keep telling, yeah. And he turns off his phone. Doesn't even bring his phone. Even better. Yeah, and that was only their second time. I think they're going to get even better. So, Curtis Knudsen just got off work just in time for us. He's coming in at the very end of the Midwest Goodbye. Following our fun time at Proline, Argenum just got his spa day. He would be ready to assemble, but he has to have all of his wiring corrected. So I'm not putting it back together. That is, you know what? If there, I think I need to update the channel description, where when you click on the more, it's just going to say 1,000 videos from an idiot. Although I think I'm at way more than that. I don't even know how many videos I'm at. Is it on my main page? Where is it? Is it on my main page? I don't know how on my, I don't even remember on my phone how to look up how many, how I'm going to look up how many videos I've uploaded. Who's the idiot? I am. Who's got 2 thumbs and is certifiably an idiot? Makes questionable decisions. This guy. So, I can't even try to claim that we made progress, but I had a really good time working on 46. So I'm saving 47 for a series instead of starting it in a live stream, because then I confuse myself. So for those of you who stayed here the whole time, it's not finished, and it still has some stuff that need to be done. But here is your 5-second teaser of what I was working on for It Came From the Workbench 46. I've been having a good time on 46. So that's what's coming up. I see Mr. Spain just asked if there's tire tests coming up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not 1, not 2, not 3. It's probably going to be another tire week. You might see 5 quick views and reduxes in between now and the end of next weekend. So we've got stuff going. Oh, you know what? Because 88 is a lucky number. All right. Spoiler. You want another spoiler? Okay. Okay. Well, little spoiler or something else. What? Uh-oh. Yeah. We got things. We're doing stuff. We got things and stuff. So many things. So much stuff. So, thanks everybody. I am going to go. Oh, flame paint job. You got to be. No, heck no. No way. No flames. My goal is a 2-tone, like 1 color on the top. One interesting. Indeed. Oh man, we're going to have a Discord discussion about those axles. My goodness. My goodness. So, I've forgotten everything I was going to say. I'm going to go get a coffee drink. My wife is at the hair salon getting her hair done. I'm going to get 2 coffee drinks. I'm going to drink one. I'm going to take one and drop it off for her at the hair salon. And then when she's done getting her hair done, she's going to bring chicken home, and it's going to end up perfect. It's going to end a perfect name. Damn it. Hot Rock is pretty good. Didn't you just name the last one? You can't get Goldie Rocks and Hot Rock together. I'm not going to tell you how much the portal build weighs. So, that'll do it. That'll do it for me. That'll do it for us here at Crawler Canyon. Let's see if we can go. Yeah. I'm starting to get lightheaded, I think. I should have drank more water. You know what, everybody? I'm going to thank you so much for joining us here in the canyon today. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Tomorrow is the first installment of that thing that you saw over there. And then we'll throw some tire stuff in between. Once I noticed not just how many reduxes need be done, but like tires I never did at all, like ripsaws. So we got plenty to do. We got plenty to see. I hope that I'll see you all there. I got to put this somewhere where I'm not going to put my elbow in it. I don't know where that is. Over here. That's fine. All right. I'm going to go have a fancy beverage. We broke 400,000 frames. Fandango is also a good name. Dang. It's a good name. We'll see. We'll see how the paint comes out. They don't even give you window masks. Just stickers for the outsides. So we'll get Tank hooked up. He'll probably be coming up this week, provided that stuff that I've ordered shows up on time. It came from the Workbench. 46 is underway. 47 might get underway. We're not going to say 48. We're definitely not skipping 2 weeks. I don't know the next time I'm going anywhere. I have not Scary Farm in like 2 weeks, but we're going on a Sunday. So it's going to be great. I'll see you in all those in between. I'll see you on the Discord. I'll see you everywhere in the ether. I'm going to click the button. It's right about, on the screen.